You know what? They missed the whole thing there. So they missed the whole intro. So there we go. We're back up. We're on live right now, just so you know. So we're good.
Ooh. All
Yes.
right, so now we got to
Okay.
watch what we say.
Yes. So you missed the music, you missed the intro, you missed me and the dog barking, and we are online right now, and of course we have nobody watching yet because I forgot to put the music on 10 minutes before. So yeah.
It's because I'm on the show. Nobody's tuning in tonight.
No, that's definitely not it. I'll take all the blame. It's all me. But Shawn, how's it going, man? What's going on? How you been?
Good. Yeah, it's going good.
I think his audio is out, Dan.
Just surviving, living the dream, sort of thing, and waiting for some clear skies.
Can you hear me?
So it's been it's been pretty crappy with weather and stuff like that for the last. The last couple of months actually. So like we had, I said, we had a clear night last night for the most part. We've got a little bit tonight, so that's great. But it's just not looking good. The weather has just been awful for even the summer. The summer was not. I was actually surprised that I got to image what I did, the amount that I did, because we just had a lot of cloud and rain, and then the smoke from all the wildfires in Canada and the U.S. and stuff like that filtering over us thanks to the jet stream. The jet stream just goes right over southern Ontario, and it drags all sorts of crap with it. So it's pretty terrible at times, but hopefully it isn't as bad as what they're predicting anyways, and we'll see what happens. That's all we can do.
Yeah, we've had some really bad, and I think my audio's a little low. I think the weather here has been horrible as well, and I think I took maybe about 10 hours in the past, like 40 days of data, so it's
Wow, really?
yeah, New York's a mess. I mean, we had the same thing that you had, with the smoke coming across, and Scott's from New York as well, so he got it like a day before me. It's been horrible, and not to mention the clouds and everything. It's just been so bad. I mean, I shouldn't have bought the EQ8R. I think I ruined it for everybody. But
thanks, Dan. Yeah. Now we know who to blame.
There you go. Hey, listen, all the blame and none of the glory, right?
Yeah.
Good name for the hate list.
How you liking the EQ8? Good?
I'm loving it, but right now I'm having some guiding issues right now. It looks like my stars are all screwed up, and I'm not sure what's going on. This is what happens when you don't image for like 40 days. Things get screwed up.
Yeah. Well, geez, I've had situations where I was imaging, like say last night everything went great, and then tonight everything would be buggered up, and there's no explanation for it because I didn't change anything.
Nope.
It just doesn't work for some reason. So, that's the nature of the beast, I guess, with regards to astrophotography.
Oh, it's
I always
horrible.
call it. I always say stupid hobby.
Stupid hobby.
I should just take up Xbox.
Or PlayStation or whatever.
Or PlayStation or whatever it is. I'm not a gamer, so I don't know. I just Xbox is my go-to with that statement. I just take up Xbox and make my life a lot less stressful.
Scott and I are Facebook, not Facebook, PlayStation guys.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Yeah. Ching, ching.
That's awesome.
But
I actually had a PlayStation for a little while, and it frustrated the hell out of me actually. So I just couldn't get used to the hand controllers and making the characters move and do what they want. It just drove me bananas. So I actually sold it to a buddy of mine.
Oh, nice.
It was the best stress relief ever.
Right?
Just getting rid of it.
Oh man, I bought the VR, the PlayStation VR.
Oh yeah,
and I bought that. I sold it. I sold it.
Oh, you didn't like it? Oh, was it that bad?
I loved it. I thought it was great, but then the Oculus came out, and it's no wires. You're free to move around, and it's fun. It's funner.
Let's go.
Awesome. So I got that, and I've been doing that. I've been playing ping pong like a madman, all around the world. So,
Do you do your
so
lunges first in that to stretch before you play?
of course not. Why do you think I pulled a hammy playing virtual ping pong?
Get your sweatband on and
Telling
your
you.
Yeah.
socks pulled up to your knees.
I'm gonna
Steve
tell you.
Hand is online. He says hi. Um,
Hi, Steve.
Eric, our other, and we're just waiting on. We got not Sean. We got Pete Myers is eventually going to come in, I believe, and hang out with us as well.
Yep.
Cool.
So, hey, thanks for joining us yet again, coming on the show. I appreciate it, and
No,
it's
great to be here. Yeah, it's
always a
fantastic.
pleasure
Yeah,
to
it's
have
been
you.
it's been about a year almost. It was maybe a year ago now that I was on. So
Yeah.
it's been a little while, but I try to tune in when I can. But geez, it's hard sometimes. I just life gets in the way. There's stuff you got to do and try and get done, and But I try
That's
to
for
tune in.
sure.
It's a great show. I like watching it. It's fun. It's entertaining. I sometimes just listen to you guys. I don't always watch it. I just listen and do some other things at the computer and it's great conversation. So glad to be here.
That's awesome. Good. And we appreciate all the support that you've been throwing us and all the love you've been throwing us on your channel
Well,
and
sure.
everything.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem
Yeah,
at all.
and
Yeah,
that
I don't mind.
your latest video, Sean, or not latest video, one of your the videos that you did just recently on M31 and your processing on that. We've been talking that one up pretty
Yep.
heavily.
Yeah,
And
I know.
yeah,
Yeah. You were mentioning it, so
yeah.
it was interesting actually just to play with Eric's data there a little bit and see
Yeah.
what you could do with it. It actually the data wasn't that bad. It's all in the processing,
Yeah.
right? So he's learning, he's getting there. He's certainly made an improvement since last year because he did that. What he came up with last year and what he's gotten now when he went back and reprocessed. So he's making progress in that. But yeah, there's little tricks and stuff like that. Sometimes you got to do with the data, and then there's just different approaches to it, different takes on it, right? And you got to the other thing too that's really important. A lot of people don't factor in is monitor calibration. You got to make sure your monitor's calibrated properly too, right? Otherwise, what you think looks good might look just atrocious on someone else's screen, so and you lose the whole effect. So it's something that you got to do. Sometimes you got to invest in one of those little spider calibrator monitor calibration devices and get your monitor tweaked and whatnot, because it doesn't necessarily run perfect out of the box.
There you go.
There it is. Yeah,
right there.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Spider X Pro, man, let me tell you.
Yep.
And you use
that is very important.
Once a month, whatever, and you just redo it, and you put it right on the screen, you let it hang, and it really adjusts everything for you.
Yeah,
it's
you
actually
just make your
great.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, they do a great job, and at least then that the colors that you're seeing on your screen is going to be the same for other people, or it should be anyways. But you never know what you run into. You can't predict everything, but for the most part, So
you can only control. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You can only control. Yeah. No. Go ahead. No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I was probably going to say you can only control what you can control. That's it. You can't control. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So if you got your monitor calibrated and you include the color profile when you're exporting your JPEG, that's about as much as you can do.
Yep.
Yeah, the ICC. That's about as much as you can do. After that, it's out of your hands, and hopefully it looks good. Sometimes it doesn't, but what do you do? I've got images that I do. It look great on my screens and stuff. I got 3 different monitors, and they look great on all the monitors. But when I throw them out to say if I throw it to Ron, say, or something, just to say, what do you think? How does it look? And I look at it on mobile devices, it looks horrid compared to what it looks like on the PC screen. So I haven't quite figured out. I have to sort of tone it down a bit on the PC screen in order for it to look better on the mobile device. So it's kind of a tough situation sometimes getting it just right, so it displays nice for everybody.
Yeah.
Sure.
And especially if you're printing as well, it's super important to make sure you got the color profile down.
The color profile has to be.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. If you're color profiling wrong colors because your monitor's not calibrated, I mean, it's going to be messed up when you get it back from either Bay Photo or whatever you use to print up. And
exactly.
Of course, now I'm getting the most dreaded beeping from PhD guiding.
Uh-oh. You got clouds?
No, there's not a cloud. It just lost a star for some reason. So, why isn't my multi-star guiding on? Why is that not on?
Did you
It's going to be
upgrade?
one of these nights, man. It's going to be one of these nights.
I've had those nights.
We were just talking about
I was doing, yeah, we were just talking about that, how, like one night it can work great, and the next night it just doesn't work at all. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. But I had that happen. I was sent the Starfield 80 telescope, and I set that up on my mount, and I could not get my guiding or my tracking to work to save my life for some reason with that scope on there. And it wasn't the fault of the scope, it just was the different setup. And I tried balancing, rebalancing, changing all sorts of things, and it just didn't work. And then I ended up returning it, not because there was anything wrong with it, but just, it just wasn't working. Is what it ended up. I just wasn't able to get any good results. I got an M31 image out of it, which was not bad. It actually turned out pretty good, but I was doing really short exposures. I was having to run 30-second exposures in order to get the data, which is really unusual for me, because usually I can go 5-minute or 10-minute exposures with nice round stars. So
sure.
I ended up sending it back and just returning it, and I put my Esprit 100 back on, and everything was great again for some reason. So I think it's my mount just likes a heavier payload, and using the Starfield 80 was just too light, and I would have to add weights onto it or something in order to get it to work properly. But yeah, sometimes you run into crazy situations like that where things just don't want to come together, and you bang your head against the wall, pull your hair out, and I've been there.
Yeah, man.
Especially with the guiding. The guiding really bugs me the most when things don't guide properly, and I'm fighting with it. I'm changing things and trying different, and recalibrating the guiding, and it just doesn't work. That drives me mad.
Yeah, it's
especially when it's a nice clear
night
and you're wasting it. Yeah.
It's driving me nuts right now. Because I don't even know, and I got to stop the guiding. I'm going to mess up an entire photo right now.
And yeah, been there, done that.
Oh yeah.
I've had many a nights wasted.
Stop the guiding, re-loop the picture. I mean, it's like, and they're so off. All right, I'm turning this off because then I'm not going to pay attention. So
yeah.
I'll just work on it after the show before I jump off a roof somewhere. But I mean, it's so interesting because you could have one night where I'm just sitting there and everything works. I'm having a drink. I'm chilling with my wife. I'm watching TV, and then you have one night I come home and I rush and I throw everything on the scope because I'm not like you. I actually take my scope down every night because I just don't.
Yeah. You had said that actually in one of the shows recently that you take it down, and no, I mean, some people don't like to leave it out. Some people, like me, I don't care. It's been out for 4 years, sitting out there. So, and it's I haven't had any issues with it at all. It's everything's weathered really well for the most part.
But you're in a dome though, right? You're in like a covered roll off or something.
No.
You're outside like me, huh?
I can't. I'm outside like you. With the only thing that covers everything is a tarp. At the end of the night, I put a tarp over and tie it down, and that's the protection for it. I can't put an observatory or a dome in my backyard at all because of the green space. Like I was talking, the trees, the 100-foot trees. Anywhere you're going to put an observatory in my backyard, it just does not work. You just lose all of the sky basically to shoot. Well, I could shoot Polaris, and that would be about it. So that really wouldn't be a lot of fun in the end. But
nope.
So I have it bolted down. I have the pier. I got a pier from Wayne at Skyshed Pod there,
sure.
And one of the Skyshed pods. And I was just talking to Wayne actually tonight. He called me, and that really nice guy. Very friendly. He talks and tells you all sorts of stories and stuff. He's really great to chat with. But I got a pier from him and installed it, and never looked back at that point. That's like the best way. It's so much nicer to have a pier and be able to go, have everything set up and ready to go versus, having to lug everything out and set it up and polar line and all that. Yep. And it just drives me, there's many nights that I didn't want to do it. I wouldn't image, just because it was so much work.
Yeah.
So now with the pier, everything's ready to go. I just uncover it, turn on the power, and fire up Nina, and basically decide what I'm going to image and let it go. Push the button, and computer takes care of everything. So, I used to bug Ron because back, it's only in the past maybe, I don't know, 2-3 years that I actually really got into autofocusing, and I've been doing a lot of the computer control where it's plate solving and stuff like that.
Right.
So for many years I used a DSLR camera and just manually focused with a bot-enough mask and did that, stayed up all night. But I was always bugged Ron about his one button astrophotography, where he just pushes go, and everything takes care of itself and that, and then it's funny enough because how many years later I'm doing the same thing, just push and go. And I go watch TV or go to bed or something and wake up in the morning and check my treasure basically. So
I'm telling you,
it's great though. It's really interesting to see how things have advanced. Back when I first got into astronomy back in the 80s, early 80s, there was a book that was called Microcomputer Control of Telescopes, and it was just some basic coding for being able to control your telescope, and everything was very manual at that point. I did manual guiding with an illuminated reticle, so you'd sit there and you'd be looking through the eyepiece, and you'd be trying to keep the star on the crosshairs basically with a little controller, which was a nightmare. Never worked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I have no idea.
That's what Edwin Hubble did.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's insane. I just can't believe
first image.
That,
Can you imagine trying to manipulate that 200 millimeter monster that he was using?
No, I can't.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Yeah, I was using a 14.5 inch reflector at the time, and it was crazy. Yeah, no. Yeah, I can't imagine that. But yeah, we did that, and it's just amazing how, I guess what I'm getting at is it's amazing how things have advanced so much over the years, and over the decades, last 30 years, 40 years, it's just come, like what we've got in our backyards now is really equivalent to a lot of professional, level observatories that existed not that long ago.
Absolutely.
I mean, we can't compare it to some of the latest stuff that's going up in Chile or whatnot, but this was in the realm of professional observatories at what we're doing now, and we're actually taking images in some cases that rival some of the professional stuff in a lot of ways, I think. But
I agree.
It's certainly fascinating. Yeah, it's come such a long way, and it's it's really fabulous. I like seeing all the new companies and ideas that are coming into the hobby and coming up with new products and new, whether it's software or hardware or whatever it is. There's a big influx, and it's really great to see, and it adds a lot of diversity and a lot of capability to our hobby, what we're doing, and it can certainly be challenging at times, but I like to think it makes it a lot easier, and certainly a lot better. It makes the hobby a lot better, I think. Anyway, something like Nina there, for example, which they're working on, just heavy development. Like, a thing is just constantly being updated with new features and new capabilities. And the guy that's behind it, or the people behind it, they're not making anything off this. They're relying on donations or anything that come their way. But other than that, it's just a love for the hobby and developing the software and watching what people do with it. That really drives them and keeps it moving forward. But something like that is just a phenomenal introduction to the hobby, and I'm really happy to see it taking off the way it is and getting the attention that it's getting. So
yeah,
what are you using for?
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say, what are you using for acquisition software?
Well, that's where I was going, because I got to thank you, because...
Oh, right, you switched to Nina.
You kept on telling me to do it, and you're going to like it. Trust me, you can do it. And right now, I'm a convert. I'm a convert.
There you go. Awesome. Yeah. So what were you using before that then, I guess?
SGP.
SGP, yeah, that was like me. I was using SGP as well. Yep. I started out with, I don't know if you guys know Nebulosity. You remember Nebulosity way back in the day? Was it Craig Stark? I think it is, that developed. Yeah. I was using that. I used that in the field when I would be out in dark sites and stuff like that in the middle of nowhere. And I was using Nebulosity and PhD and stuff, and just but then I ended up migrating over to SGP, and I used that for a couple of years or so. And it was a great piece of software. Nothing wrong with it.
No, it's still a great piece of software.
It's still a great piece of software. I got curious about Nina, and I actually installed it one time, and I actually hated it. I didn't even understand how to use it. I was like, oh my God, what is this? I can't, I just can't do it. So I went back to SGP for about, I'd say almost a year. I went back to SGP. And then I saw more and more talk about this Nina program, and I thought, let me go back and try it again. So I installed it again, and I really gave it a go. I really attempted to learn it and try to understand it. It was really different from SGP. So it was a big learning curve. And some of the things I found really simple in SGP to do, I was struggling to figure out how to do in Nina. But with the introduction of version 111, that really was a game changer. For me anyways. 110 I found to be, it was quite capable, not to say it isn't capable, but I found it a lot more primitive. So when they introduced version 111, and with all of the development that's been happening with it, it is so powerful. There is so many things that you can do with it now to plan your night of imaging, that it is just incredible. And I don't even make use of half the features that are in there, really. I set up my imaging run and stuff like that, and it's somewhat basic for the most part, because I don't need it. I don't need to use all of the things that they have going on in Nina. But for some people, they could possibly use those extra features and put to good use. So I actually just tried. What is it called in Nina? Give me 1 second here. Let me just open it up real quick and just have a look at what it's called.
3-point polar alignment?
No. I had nothing but disaster with that.
It's dreadful. It's bad.
I just could not get any good results from that. In fact, I used it. I tried desperately with it. I gave it a really fair shake, and I would polar line on like Polaris in that region, and it would say everything was good. I'd be out a few arc seconds, nothing major, 8 arc seconds or something. Everything was good. And then because you can use the 3-point polar line to you can swing anywhere in the sky and do a polar alignment. So I would swing it to another area of the sky, say go northeast or something, and check it out and see what the polar alignment. The polar alignment would be completely off. Like it just, and I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. How could you tell me that it was okay before and now it's completely off? And I used EQ Mod. I used EQ Mod for the longest time, which is built in the polar line that's built into EQ Mod, and I used that for many years, and it always gave me really good results. I had nice round stars, never had any issues with it. Nina told me that was way off after I had done it. So I really started questioning whether or not this was working. Now I hear, in all fairness, there's people that use the Nina 3-point polar alignment and they get really good results from it. They say they get good results. So I just didn't have that experience. So, and Sharp Cap is used a lot for polar alignment, and a lot of people swear by Sharp Cap. And I haven't tried that, so I don't know what it's like. But I did invest in the Pole Master recently, which is not new by any stretch, but new for me, and fabulous. I love that Pole Master. It is so easy to get your polar alignment nailed down, and bang, away you go. No problem.
I would say,
and being up here,
I'm sorry. I would say time-wise that they're both probably pretty close to the same.
Yep.
On how to get a good polar alignment, but
I seem to trust the Pole Master more for some reason. I don't know why that is. I place more confidence in it.
Yeah, well, it's everybody's comfort space on what they whatever they're comfortable doing.
Yeah.
And I think that there's just a lot less clicking in Sharp Cap than there is on the Pole Master. Because when Pole Master came out, I bought it. I was like, yo, give it to me. I said it should have been come out. It's so simple and good and awesome. And I can't believe this didn't come out 10 years ago. But whatever the case may be, the thing that I have with the Pole Master is, okay, click on Polaris. Okay, put the stars in the map. Twist the stars. Click on Polaris again. Click on a star that's not Polaris. Click on that star again. Move the scope. Did it follow the circle? But this and all that kind of stuff. And you know what? You could really do Pole Master in probably like 2 or 3 minutes max. I mean, it's that easy. And it's the same thing with Sharp Cap, except the only thing that Sharp Cap does, it's more like the ASI Air polar alignment routine, where it takes a picture, a plate solves, you slew either east or west, 45 to 60 degrees, and then it'll take a picture again, give you your error, tell you which way to move, and you're done.
Yep.
And you're done. Yeah. I was actually thinking of buying it because I heard it's not that expensive or something, SharpCap. But
no, it's not.
I was thinking of buying it. No,
it's
like
15
$20
bucks a year.
It's like $15 a year.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, that's cheap.
It's cheap.
Nothing. Yeah, it's well worth the investment. So I was actually thinking of buying it just to try it out with polar alignment and just do a comparison to see what, how it lined up to Nina and how it lined up to the Polemaster, just out of curiosity. So.
Yeah, I didn't see much of an error difference between.
No, you didn't? Okay.
Between SharpCap, Polemaster, and the RMS error in the drift in the polar alignment in PhD.
In PhD? Okay.
Yeah, so I did all three. Okay. And there was a little bit, but it was negligible. It was negligible.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So that in Nina, going back to what I was saying, I was going to look it up. I tried the new plugin. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, orbiculum or buculum. It basically is a in your sequence. You can add this into your sequence, and what it does is it monitors the next object in your sequence. So if you're shooting multiple objects on a given night, like I was doing last night, it monitors the next object coming up, and you can set it so that the imaging of the current object stops when the other object reaches a certain altitude. So cool. in my case last night, it was set for, I had it set for NGC 1333 was the second object. So I was imaging the Lion's Head Nebula, and I had it set for 77 degrees. And when it reaches 77 degrees, it stops imaging the Lion's Head Nebula, and it switches over to NGC 1333 for me and continues on then with the rest of the sequence. And that's a great example of some of the additions to Nina that have been happening that just make it a really phenomenal acquisition software. I think really hard to beat things like that when they add in. And the plugin aspect of Nina and having third-party developers being able to introduce their plugins. Genius, really opens up the playing field, I think.
Yeah, I saw Queeve's video when they came out with the app. He came out with a video for the Nina App Store, and he's like, it's got an
App Store. Yeah.
Yep. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So
Queeve's a good guy. He was on my Astro Chat there.
I know. Really how is that working out for you? I mean, you got. Did you get 2 now?
I've done 2.
Yeah, it was 2.
I'm going to be doing a third one. It's a matter of who to have on next, sort of thing. I was actually thinking of having you guys on, just to give you some promo and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Why not, right? Yeah. So
that'd be fun.
But yeah, it's just a matter of getting it organized and what. That was the biggest challenge, getting everything organized with the time zones. People in the UK, Quiv is in Japan, he's in Tokyo. I had, someone in Australia, and everything's the next day there by 3 hours.
Dylan?
Dylan. Yeah, it was really tough to pull it all together. The only one that was really easy was Trevor. Where in the first Astro Chat, it was easy to get Trevor in because he's in the same time zone.
Yeah, there you go.
I think Amy is too.
Amy shouldn't be too far off.
Amy was in the same. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Amy was in the same time zone too, so that was easy. But the rest of them, some of them had to be up quite late. The first Astro Chat, I know Helena from Helena's Astrophotography. She was up at 1 a.m.
Yeah, I saw her. She was all bundled up.
Yeah, she had her blanket. Well, she told me she was going to have her blanket and her tea ready. So, but she was really gung ho to get in there and join us. So that was great that she was able to do that, and that she did.
She's in Scotland,
really
right?
Thankful. Yeah, she's in Scotland. That's right. I'm not sure exactly where in Scotland, but Scotland. Yeah, that's where she is. So,
I know it's a portal too.
It was 1 a.m. there.
Yeah,
it's really got good skies, that's for sure. But But it was great to have them join, and I had a lot of fun doing those. I recorded. I didn't do it live like we're doing now. We're doing live, but
it's tough to do. That's tough to do when you're dealing with that.
Live is hard. Yeah. Well, I just thought it was better to do the record. The consensus was, I asked people, did they want to do it live or did they want to record it? And the consensus, the majority was to record it.
Record everything.
Just in case, well, you never know what gets said too, right? Some things that get said and you don't want certain things leaking in there. So
correct.
And length, it was length too, right? Because I mean, we could go on and on and on and on with stuff. So I had to keep it somewhat edited down to something reasonable. And I figured an hour was, do an hour show and leave it at that. And so that was basically the two reasons for recording it and releasing it the way I did anyway. So I know some people wanted me to do it live, but that presents a lot of challenges and stuff like that, I think. So it worked out well. It was well received. The first one and the second one were well received. And I was really, like I said, it was a lot of fun to do it. So I'm looking forward to doing a third one.
Yeah, that's going to be great, man. I've seen them both, and you guys did a great job. All the guests were just outstanding. So
it's fun. It's fun to get everyone together and just talk. Just be yourself, right? And just sort of talk about the hobby and your experiences. And we even touched on things outside of the astrophotography hobby. We talked about the YouTube experience and stuff, and being a content creator and some of the challenges that you're faced with, the burnout from it, the abuse that you can get on YouTube, with comments and stuff. Some people are just really nasty,
Yeah, they're just cruel.
And like I said I had giveaways. I had giveaway videos where I was giving away things completely free. I was paying for the shipping and everything. Anyone could win, and I was getting thumbs down and nasty comments. And I'm like, it just didn't make sense to me. I was like, how can you give a thumbs down and talk
for a giveaway?
A giveaway, wow, like some people just don't have anything better to do, I guess. But yeah, it was an interesting talk just to find out, get inside their head a bit and, navigate the different waters that are, just regular people. Because I know like Trevor is sort of, if you've ever joined in on any of his premiere videos, when he's doing them live, he's premiering the video live, there's a lot of people that sort of are interacting with him as if he's a celebrity, right? And it's a funny approach, like as a content creator myself, I don't really think of myself like that, but there's a lot of people that, seem to really take to certain people, and they like you and they want your attention and whatnot. So it can be tough. It can be, pretty challenging. And you get a lot of emails. That was the other thing too. A lot of people reaching out to you on email wise or Facebook or whatever it is. With problems and stuff, and they want you to help in that. And I actually am one of the, probably, I don't know how many people do it, but I actually do try to help people if I can, but I can't possibly help everybody. Right? It would just be, because it would be like a full-time job.
Right.
And I have other things that I have to get done. Right. So, and then some. Yeah, exactly. So, I try to help people as much as I can, but I'm not able, always to do that. And I feel bad that I can't, but, it's just the reality of life. I've got, I run another business. I do the YouTube stuff for sort of, I could almost call it full time in a lot of ways because of the amount of work and hours that I put into it. But I'll just refer to it as a part-time gig, a side hustle. So I'm doing the YouTube there, but I have a business that I run as well, and I got to look after that end of it and those clients. And on top of that, you're getting all the influx of emails and stuff like that. So what's up, Dan?
Pete Myers is calling me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, go ahead and take that.
Do you know Pete,
Hey,
Shawn?
Pete.
Do you know Pete?
No, I don't know. I don't
Never
know
met
who Pete is at all, actually.
Pause my.
No, never met Pete. So
he is a brilliant
What's the background?
astrophotographer, an engineer.
Is that right?
The guy, he has helped me out a great deal. With the rig that I built. I don't know if you've seen any of the things that I put together as far as with my rig.
No.
No, I have a modular, mobile C14 setup.
Oh wow! Really? Okay.
It's a beast.
Is that the one that's on the? That's not the one that's on the wheels or something, is it? You can like a remote control car sort of thing. Is that what people were talking?
Kind of. But it's sitting on a JMI wheelie bar. and
Okay.
but it's a
Okay.
six-wheel balloon, the 10-inch balloon tires.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's right. I
Pete
think I
was
saw it one time
instrumental.
on the show.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
the one.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, it looks
Pete
like
was,
something that you could just drive around the lawn with or something.
yeah, and
Sit in your lawn chair
he
and
helped
drive
a
it out and
great
park
deal.
it.
Yeah,
No, that's awesome.
Pete
That's
was
great.
instrumental
Good,
in
good.
helping me build that.
It's always good to have knowledgeable people like that. I've got a friend that is I really think he's a genius. He just knows everything. Like, it doesn't matter what you throw at him, he knows all about it, and he's been really instrumental in helping me with little things that come up, problems that come up, and whatnot. And it's fantastic to have people like that you can sort of fall back
It
on. And,
absolutely is.
and they're very willing to help you too, which is great. Which is why I try to pay it forward and help people as best I can too. It's tough though sometimes when you're trying to help people with problems with imaging, equipment problems, or software problems and stuff like that, because you're not there in front of it, right? So you're relying on their communication and whatnot. So it makes it a little challenging, but it's great to have people like that are willing to help out. People that are smarter than me. I always like to surround myself with people that are smarter than me, and then it makes me look smart.
I'm telling you.
That's the whole game right there, brother. That's the whole game.
Yeah.
And Mr. Pete, I guess, forgot it was his birthday today, and his girlfriend or wife is his significant other. Yeah, Eric's coming on
Eric.
instead.
Look at that! What a trooper! He's getting in there.
He's batting DH here, and we're gonna get. And let me change this a little bit.
Good, man. How are you?
Nobody could see Eric yet,
good,
so give me a second.
Really good.
And then quick play, and there we go. We got
Eric.
Eric.
Trooper you are for joining in.
No problem. I was actually listening to you guys while I was out with the family having dinner, and my wife, she's like, "Is your show on?" And I was like, "Yeah," because I was driving home, and I've got one of my ear pods in. I'm listening to you guys in one ear, and then I've got the kids I'm listening to in the other. And she's like, "So you going on tonight?" I said, "Well, I don't think so, because it's going to be a full foursome happening around here." Then I was like, "But Pete's not here yet." But, so I'm happy to hop on.
Yeah, absolutely.
No problem.
That's why I love having like a lot of people involved in this, because some things happen, life happens. So
yeah, it does. It does.
Absolutely. Yeah,
it's awesome. Sure. So if Pete actually said he's going to be on Wednesday night, and he promised he's going to be on Wednesday night.
Awesome.
He's on a bad streak. He had some issues with an observatory that he's putting together, and they lost the mount. Not them, but the person that shipped it lost it, and so they got the mount. It was shipped. It just wasn't scanned, kind of like a weird thing that just they lost the tracking, but it was on the way and it made it there, and everything's fine. But
hey, speaking of mounts, have you had a chance to try that new one?
No, I haven't had a chance to do anything. I'm still in my McDonald's shirt. I mean,
he hasn't had a chance to do it.
Had you even turned it on?
Nope.
Wow.
And listen, in all fairness to me, I've only had it since 8 o'clock Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So,
that's no. Oh, come on. That's no excuse. Come on. That thing should have been set
Wait, hold on a second. 8 o'clock Tuesday night. And then I get it Tuesday night. I come home. I hang out with the wife for the hour, and then I go to bed. And then on Wednesday I worked. Wednesday night was the show. Thursday I worked. Friday I worked. Now I got another show.
It's called priorities. It's called priorities. Yeah.
Tough room here, man. Tough room. Well, you know what?
Smallest violins.
Not for nothing, but I got 57 seconds to a meridian flip that's probably going to screw up. I just want to go outside and look at it and make sure that happens. So I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Okay, cool.
Sure.
Because all you guys are going to yell at me anyway. So
Well.
Yeah. So Shawn, do you
hear Dan yelling at his mount?
God damn it!
God damn it! It'd be like the dad from A Christmas Story fighting the furnace.
I'm done. I'm turning this thing off.
Oh man!
And it's funny you guys You guys can still hear me. I'm outside. That's
Yeah. So be careful what you say or what you do.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
We can hear everything.
I just lost you for a second, so.
Oh yeah.
So
we can still
Shawn,
hear you.
Do you have any experience at all, or any of your contemporaries have any experience at all with the new harmonic drive systems?
No, not at all. No, I would love to actually get my hands on one. Yeah, no, they sound they appear to be really fabulous. I've not had any experience with it, so I'm hoping that Dan gets his set up and get some feedback to us, because that'll be great. That'll make for some great shows, and that seeing what his experience has been.
Yeah, it certainly would, and just him opening it up and giving out the specs and everything, I was really impressed with the payload.
I was surprised at how small it was, considering the payload.
That too.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
So it's like, and for the price, because I think it's just around 2,600 or something like that. It's under 3,000.
Yeah, I think it said 27. Yeah, 2,700. I think he said, or something like that.
So having
that's not bad, though.
harmonic drive mount, a harmonic drive mount under $3,000, being comparable to like your CGXs, your CEM70s, and so on and so forth, but to have this capability. To come down to the mainstream prices, that's pretty. As long as we'll find out from Dan.
I'm here.
How he fares.
You just can't hear me.
It'll be Oh, we can hear you.
I mean, okay, okay, good. Yeah, well, I'm kind of back.
Okay, but I'm looking forward to seeing how it is, because at that price point, Sharpstar could be onto something.
Yeah, I'm just hoping
that's affordable.
Yeah, well, it's $28.95 for the mount. It's $500 for the tri-pier. And so, what is it, $3,400 all said and done.
34.
Still, yeah.
I mean, it's not bad. Now here's the thing. And we spoke about this. I was looking for it on Wednesday night. And the whole thing was that everybody was asking about what's the tracking, what's going on. And so I go, all right, well, let me go get the manual out. So I go get the manual, and sure enough, basically what it says.
He's making a drink right now, don't you?
Oh,
he's in a fridge.
Yeah,
making a
I
drink.
heard that. Well, he was either making a drink or taking a leak. One of the
two. Yeah.
That would be the
I was hoping it was making a drink, though.
Sorry.
No. So you were saying? So you're saying you were looking up the manual?
So I was looking up for the manual, and first thing that I see is the manual. I'm like, where's the manual? Where is it? I'm looking for this book. I'm thinking, comes with a manual. And sure enough, I find a piece of paper with a QR code, and that's the manual. So I snap the manual, and I download the manual. And all the way down through, I think it's page like 13 or 14. And there are all the specs, and the last line of the specs says, tracking precision. So I'm like, oh, cool, there it is. Yeah. And it says... Look at your guiding software and or other programs for tracking precision. So basically, to me, that means like, well, I don't know. Go check out PhD guiding. So,
you're on your own, dude.
So I think that, I don't know if they either just didn't have enough information, they wanted to put the mount out quick enough, or I'm sure they test these things, but I'm just wondering how it's very sketch on some of the details on it. So, but it's made great. It's it's solid. I mean, it's solid.
It looks well made. Yeah. It looks very well made when you showed it in that. Yeah, for sure. So it's going to be really interesting to see what your experience is with it. You'll have to definitely report back and let everyone know.
If I ever get a clear night again, I'll be okay.
Yeah, I know. Well. I probably get a few more clear nights than you, so you can send it up to me if you want. How's that?
You're like the fourth person that said that to me.
Yeah, I got some clear nights over here.
Oh, I'm in line, am I? Oh, I'm the fourth person.
Let me tell you. So Tyler, who works over at Explore Scientific, who's on the show quite a bit.
Yep.
He was nice enough because I have friends in Optolong just like you do, and Stella over at Optolong said, "Hey,
Stella.
listen, I got the EOS R full frame clip-in filter. You want to test it?" I said, "Sure, send it to me." So I sent it to. Of course, I don't have an EOS R camera. I don't have a mirrorless camera. So Tyler was nice enough to. He happened to have two. He had a 6D. And what's the other one? He had the 6R and something else. I forget what the other one. The RA.
Yeah.
And,
the RA. Yeah.
Yeah. So he sent me both of them, and they've sat right here for 45 days. They're still here, and so I'm this close to sending him the filter. And the camera's back, just so we could get some data in there, and and see what it looks like, because my skies here are just dreadful recently. It's
terrible.
Been so bad.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah,
and that's too bad because I just had some nice skies last night, and I was hoping that you would end up with them. Now
I'm imaging now.
Okay.
But I only had about 20 minutes to set everything up, so I just set up my regular rig. I didn't have a chance to do anything with either Tyler's camera with the Sky Guider or the Sharp Star. I haven't had a chance to do anything. But
well, when you got the weather that we've been having, it's
dreadful.
You just got to go with what you've got set up. Really, there's no time to play around with things if you want to make use of it and get some data on something. So there's the nights have been so few and far between that have been clear and good that you just don't want to be monkeying with anything, right? So
exactly, that's why I do everything up there.
I'm going to be monkeying with it. I got Tyler actually arranged. He was nice enough to arrange sending me an Explore Scientific 127. So I'm going to be swapping out scopes and giving that a go, seeing how it works, and doing some testing with it and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to that. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
Where does he get these 127s
I've been running
from?
the Esprit for.
Where does he get these 127s from? He sent me one. He sold me one like 5 months ago. And I'm like, now he said that. What is he doing? He like pulls it out his butt, man. He's like, the supply chain's been broken for 18 months, and he's pulling out 127s out his backyard.
I don't know how he did it, but I didn't question it. I was very happy that he was doing it, right? So that was great. He was a good guy for pulling it together. But that should be interesting, switching over and trying something new. I've been running the Skywatcher for 4 years now, and it's really it's been a good scope. It's worked out well. I haven't had any complaints about it, and it's held up to the elements living outside as it has. It's not. I wouldn't say that it's babied at all. It isn't babied by any stretch.
Do you bring your equipment in? Do you bring your equipment in often, or you just keep it outside?
No, it stays. It lives outside. Everything lives outside.
You just have it underneath the tarp, and that's it.
Yep. It's on a pier, everything's set up, and I just throw a tarp over, tie it down, and that's it. Yeah, that's the extent of it. So that's awesome. And it works out really well because I just take the tarp off and start imaging and throw it back on when I need to. Right? I'd love to have. Hey, don't get me wrong. I'd love to have an observatory in the backyard, but like I was saying earlier on the show, it just doesn't work. It's not conducive. There's just no way to put one in. No, I mean if I could put it on top of the house, that would be great. But I don't know I don't think the city would allow that. So
right.
Yeah, I don't think that's safe.
I'm sure.
But
I think there's some building codes or something that would come into play.
Gotta be
there.
something.
There has to be, yeah. Of course, if I had enough money, I could just pay them all off and do it.
Yeah, right.
Shawn, have you had any problems with moisture, like buildup or mold or anything else? Do you use any desiccant or anything like that?
No. Actually, it's been really good. Yeah, no, I haven't had any issues like that at all. It's been
that's really good.
Yeah, unless the humidity is really high, in the summer it can hit 99%. Unless it's really high, then sometimes cooling the camera down, I can have some issues in that. But in terms of moisture or anything like that, no, I haven't had any issues at all with
Very fortunate.
Anything that's been
sure.
Yeah, I guess I'm lucky or something like that. But it's worked out really well. So really happy to have that set up. As I used to have a tripod and would just set it up, load everything up manually at polar line and what. And then I put wheels on the tripod leg so I could just wheel it out basically.
There you go.
Sure.
And that helped because then I could just keep things set up. But I was imaging at the front of the house where I've got street lights and the neighbors, they have to leave their lights on all night because they're inside sleeping, so it makes a lot of sense to me, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You never know, right? Because don't turn off your light and make it difficult for that burglar, and leave the lights on so he can see what's in the car, right?
Oh, yeah.
And see where he's walking.
And I got, I just put up.
What's that?
I just put up an Arlo camera, and I got the Arlo camera with the lights and a siren and all this stuff going on. So I got that. No. So basically, it's not loud enough to bother the neighbors or anything. Yeah. It's just loud enough for somebody to say, "Oh crap," and then on camera. And then run. Right. But we don't have a lot of. I don't. Even being New York's kind of got like a stigma with crime for sometimes, and but Long Island, not so much. We just have a massive opioid problem, and other than that, that's about it. But
But for me, I was like in the same. I image my backyard, but it's so crazy. It's like I have neighbors who leave their patio lights on, all night or something like that. Yeah. So it would just drive me. And they're not outside, and it's like, the only reason why they do it because they would let their little dog out,
Yeah.
And then let him do his business and come back in, but they keep the lights on. I'm like, what is it?
Yeah.
So I actually had to go over and just explain to them what I was doing. They were like, "You're doing what?" I said, I'm an astrophotographer. They're like, "What is that?" I'm an amateur astronomer. I take pictures of the sky. And they're like, "Oh, that's so cool!" But ever since then, they've been nice enough to turn their lights off. So that's good.
Cool
some guys could be real jerks, man.
I've seen some horror stories online where people have really bad neighbors that they actually put spotlights up and floodlights and point them at the person's yard, and it's like, now we have, I don't know about you guys, but we have bylaws here that prevent that. So someone can't, like if my neighbor put up a light that was shining on my house or my backyard like that, that would be illegal to do. They couldn't do it. So I could actually have that changed. But some people don't have that. They don't have any bylaws or ordinance, whatever.
Well, here's the problem in the United States. We're the land of so many laws, you could get around the laws. So, there's so many laws, the laws become ineffective. So, I mean, we could just pretty much do whatever we want, and that's why.
Yeah, do what you want. Yeah. I've actually been fortunate though with neighbors. Both my neighbors on either side, really great. They keep their lights off at night.
That's good.
There hasn't been any issues at all. Yeah. So I've been really fortunate in that. I just pray that nobody sells and moves and someone else moves in, because that could change really fast then.
Yeah. Well, you could be like, what is it, Simon in New Zealand, who's got lighting ordinances in the entire country. So, I mean, there's light rules, just like Australia, with all the, they take their night sky very seriously. And
very seriously.
I wish everybody else was like that. But
that's one of the reasons why I want to eventually retire in New Mexico. Because New Mexico is probably the only, if not one of the few states that where they consider the night sky like a natural resource or a
natural resource
commodity, or a commodity for tourism.
So
astrotourism, definitely. I actually was in. I was doing light pollution work, light pollution abatement work here for over 10 years, and now in the last couple of years, I sort of retired from it because it was just too much. It was very stressful, and it was a burnout thing to do, and it was actually making me angry, is what I discovered. I had to stop. But the one thing that I was trying to get across to people was to treat the night sky as a natural resource, as something that has value, and even from those locations, like we have a cottage up north that is in a Bortle 2 sky, but it's being encroached on slowly by light pollution from cities, surrounding towns and cities and stuff. And so the one thing that I had discussions with mayors and councillors and stuff was like this is an area that people know as having dark skies, and they can see the Milky Way, and it's nothing like they experience at home, because they don't have that sky, right? So the idea was to treat it, like Eric was saying, like an astrotourism sort of thing, right? But a lot of this stuff just goes right over their heads.
Right over a lot of the regular, a lot of these people's heads is just like, well, it's they go over their heads, or because they're looking at the business. Aspect
they're looking
of
at the
things,
business, and they're looking at the safety and the crime and stuff like that. But a lot of the times what people don't realize is that lighting actually encourages crime. They did a study. They did a study in the UK where they had two towns, and they doubled the lighting in the one town versus the other. They maintained the lighting as it was in the other town, and the town that had the light levels doubled actually had an increase in crime versus the town that didn't, which was really interesting study. And I use that quite a bit in my talks and discussions with officials and whatnot, trying to affect some change.
It can also affect you personally, like your sleep patterns. Light pollution can affect your sleep patterns, and other and cause certain health issues. So those are things that certain people like certain politicians and whoever in the powers that be, they just don't understand those things, and they just
a lot of times they don't understand.
Yeah, they don't understand, and eventually, it's something, because the night skies are something that, since for as long as I can remember, since neon lights and everything came out, we've taken it for granted. It's not, we've taken it for granted because it's been all about progress, and now now it's become just a fight, to your point, you're getting, ready to fight, and you're stressing out and stuff like that to try to get, the word out and try to explain things to people. And sometimes it's like you're beating a dead horse.
Well, people fall victim to a lot of false notions with regards to light at night and what it does. They a lot of times they think that it protects them and or prevents a crime, but that street light, as example, being on full blast, it doesn't protect anyone. It doesn't call 911 when a crime happens.
No.
And in a lot of cases, even insurance companies telling people to park under street lights so that their car is protected is actually complete opposite, because what it does is it illuminates the interior, and it makes it really easy for a smash and grab situation. If they, that would-be thief sees something, they can easily just bust in, grab it, and run. They don't have to dig around. They don't have to use a flashlight. Nothing. So
that makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense.
You're fighting a lot of false notions out there when you're in the light pollution abatement arena. And funny enough, my experience over the 10 years or so that I was doing it was that the people that you thought would be right there behind you, helping, weren't there. So, you would think that amateur astronomers would be the ones that would be, most involved and really speaking up, but that was not even the case. It was more, I had more input and more assistance from natural groups such as like bird watchers or people concerned with the environment. Those groups actually were far more helpful than the amateur astronomy community was. And a lot of times I was standing alone in my fights with light pollution here. And that's what made that actually made it very difficult. And it very like I said, it became a very bitter thing. I just got fed up with it, so I had to walk away from it and stuff and whatnot. So. But, we don't, where I am, it's not so bad. Some of the messages that I was trying to get across, got across. Our street lights, they're not 5,000 K, they're 3,000. It was a compromise. I wanted it lower than what they were going to do, but 3,000 was a compromise. And they actually dimmed them down to 70% of, they're not running 100%. And they do that in
so you made some progress.
Areas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there was some progress.
You made some progress and some impact, which is great.
Yeah, there was some impact. There was some progress, but it just wasn't broad enough. Even with bylaws and stuff like that, I wanted to see stronger action and new developments. The planning department at the city wanted to see changes made where what they were allowing developers to do with lights and whatnot, and that was a big struggle. But I did get some cooperation there. It's not perfect, but it is an improvement. So everything that gets built here now in terms of commercial, everything has to be downlit. You can't have any lights that are shining up into the sky. Everything has to be everything has to be full cut off and has to be aimed down. So there was some success in it. I shouldn't say that there wasn't, but certainly it's a tough battle. It's a really tough battle, and it's one that we're losing really in the end. Unfortunately. So I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, Gary Citro, who's been part of the Dark Sky Association for a long, long time, trying to protect the night skies, and he just sits there and tells me, he said, Dan, it's so hard.
It is
so hard because there's so many, like you said, there's so many people, not necessarily against, but they just don't get it.
They don't get it. They just don't understand it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like they don't understand the impact. If they do understand it, they have political reasons for not understanding it. Or if they don't understand, they really don't understand it, and really it doesn't bother them. So out of sight, out of mind. So
exactly.
He tells me stories all the time. He's been dealing with. He just moved, but for got to be well over 20 years that he was dealing with that. He was the representative for the Dark Sky Association on Long Island, and he just was telling me horror stories constantly about it. And it's just it's bad. It's a thankless job, and it's just so hard.
Very thankless.
It really is, and it's but we need people to do that. So it doesn't get worse, because you're right. This is a losing battle right now.
It is,
and you kind of see. I mean, if you look at the U.S. at night, I mean, you got that line at the Mississippi. I mean, it used to be a lot further east, and then it just started. Sooner or later, by the time Eric's ready to retire, New Mexico is going to be a Portal 8. But
which is scary, but that's true. That's true.
I don't think it'll happen by the time you're ready to move there. But I mean, eventually, maybe for your kids.
Not for nothing. It even though it is a hard fight, it is a fight worth fighting. That I think that ultimately the way to approach it is through education. You have to educate people as to not just what's going on in their neighborhood or even in their town or their state, but what's going on, from the grand perspective, the whole universe. Most people don't even realize that our position in the Milky Way is in such a primo spot. I mean, we are in the Milky Way's got like 20% of it is what is known as a galactic habitable zone, right? And most of that is filled up with gaseous, emission. And we are sitting in one of the only spots where it is crystal clear. It is crystal clear. It's like we were deliberately placed there so that we could observe the whole universe.
Yeah.
And if you approach it from that perspective, it puts a sense of awe in the reality of what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, we
It
got some
does.
good news out there from Eddie out in Pittsburgh. He said that in October, Pittsburgh enacted the first in the
Saw that.
nation dark sky lighting law in
Oh, really?
Pittsburgh.
Oh, wow. Great. In
So
Pittsburgh.
That's encouraging.
that is
Yeah, that's very
encouraging.
encouraging.
So
Yeah.
so hopefully, if people start seeing, maybe if they see crime go down in Pittsburgh because the lights are off, maybe other cities will fall in line.
Right.
Yeah.
We shall see. That's good news.
We got a question. We got a question here from Gideon. Could we ask Shawn for a comparison of the L Extreme versus the IDOS NBZ? I heard that the NBZ does work way better with sub f5 scopes. It has a lot less halos. And
Yeah.
and what
Yeah, I actually
do you
haven't.
use the NBZ?
No, I haven't actually had the opportunity to use that, so I can't really make a comparison with it. But the L Extreme filter, I can say I haven't had any halo issues with it myself in anything that I've imaged with it. So, and it performed really well. But the result is overwhelmingly red for the most part with that filter.
Yes, it is.
Unless you're imaging something very specific like the Veil or the Dumbbell Nebula, where you pick up the oxygen, 3 component. But mostly it's just very red. So I found the most fun that I had with that filter, the L Extreme filter, was to actually do the faux Hubble palette out of it when I was shooting with it, and that really opened up the that opened up the door a lot in terms of what I could do with it. So I was quite happy to happen upon that ability and do that with that filter. But it's a good filter. The L Extreme is a good filter. I've used it. Optolong really, they're reasonably priced filters, and they do perform really well for what you're paying. It doesn't cost you $1,000 for it. Like some filters can be. And it does. Like I did use the what was that one now? I can't think of the name. It's like $1,000 filter.
It's the Radiant Triad.
The Triad. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. I did try a Triad, and the difference between the L Extreme and the Triad, I didn't see it. It really wasn't that much of a difference, So. But there's a huge price difference, right?
Yeah.
So I've had people ask me, should I buy the Triad, because they think it's going to be better somehow because it costs $1,000. The reality is no. I tell them no, don't, save your money and buy the L Extreme because you're going to get pretty much the same result in the end. That's been my experience anyway. So.
Yeah, Scott, that's one of the things that we talk on this show quite a bit, and I think this is where Eric was going. I didn't mean to cut you off, but we talk about this all the time, where you sit there and say, okay, you got a price point of, let's say, the L Extreme of $249 to $300, and you have another filter that supposedly does the same job that costs 3 or 4 times more than that. Where do you justify as the artist if you see a difference or not? Where do you draw the line? Because it's like, okay, do you see that much of a difference? And that's why I'm really curious to see what you get when you get that FCD 100 and match it up with the FPL 53 of the Esprit, and see if you see a difference there. I'd be real curious to see that.
Yeah, well, I'm very actually interested in running it through a Spaces just to see what type of difference, because I've actually had a few different telescopes sent to me over the last couple of years from different manufacturers, and some of them I haven't bothered to report on because they've been a failure, really, in a lot of ways. So there seems to be a lot of the scopes that are coming out right now, triplets in particular. There's a lot of chromatic aberration problems with them. And it's really funny because I've got a William Optics doublet, a 71 millimeter, that performs better than a lot of these triplets do, and that baffles me completely. That shouldn't be the case, but it is. So it makes
that's because of cheap glass and cheap fill and cheap coatings. cheap glass, cheap coatings, bad manufacturing.
If I was buying a telescope today, I'm in a unique position being a content creator on YouTube and that, where I have an audience and I have companies that reach out to me and they want me to try their products and stuff like that. So I'm able to test things. But if I was just a consumer that was investing their hard-earned money into some of these telescopes, I'd be really upset because the quality just isn't there in a lot of cases, So
it's really
we're going to see,
disheartening.
anyways. Yeah, it is. It is disheartening to see some of it. That's what's going on. So, we'll see what happens. I'm very excited to have the opportunity to work with Explore Scientific and test out the scope in that, and certainly run it through its paces and give an honest assessment of how it performs. But the Esprit 100, the Esprit line in particular, is a very, very solid, line, very good scope, and very minimal chromatic aberration. There's a slight bit with it. They say it's free of it, but I wouldn't say it's 100%, but it's pretty good. It's really
I
good
have an 80 Esprit, and and I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
You know what? The funny thing is, there's a funny story about this. I actually purchased the 120. And I purchased the 120.
I think I recall that. I think you'd mentioned that.
So this is where the 127 comes in with Tyler. So I kept on getting notifications from Ed over at Celestron, and saying it's coming next month, it's coming next month, it's coming next month, and it's always been next month. And even though it's paid off, it's ready to come. I'm like, it's never coming. It's never coming. So Tyler's like, well, you know what? I got, a 127, and if you want it, you can, we'll make a deal. I said, all right. So I bought it. I bought it from him for, whatever he wanted to sell it to me for, and I bought it. The next day, what shows up at my door? An Esprit 120. So now I got two scopes back and forth. Eventually, I stuck with the, for whatever reason, I just wanted the extra reach of the 127. And so, did we lose? Oh, no, you're moving. Okay.
No, he's there.
It looked like you just froze for a second.
He did very, very still. It
was like,
I'm not moving. I'm not frozen.
Blink, Shawn. Let us know you're alive.
I was looking at my other screen. I was just calling up something on my other screen while you were talking. That's all.
Oh man. So this is a second. I'm looking through the chats, and this is something. So I don't know if you know this, Shawn, but AstroWorld is a song also by a rapper named Travis Scott. Very. Yeah, he's if you look up on AstroWorld, just on YouTube, he'll come up first. And if you I was very happy. It was like a minor victory where originally when I started AstroWorld, it was all Travis Scott, all the way down the list. Finally, if you look up AstroWorld, there's at least one of our videos on the first page knocked one of his out. So I'm like, okay.
Actually, I was actually just searching. I was searching AstroWorld today, and it actually came up top on YouTube on the search results. So
nice.
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
Nice. But there's a gentleman.
I think you picked up an extra subscriber too from when I looked earlier today. You're at 888 now. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But apparently we got God Gamer 101 in the chat. He's like, wait a minute, this is not the AstroWorld Festival, and apparently he's running something tonight as well. But whatever the case may be, I've only gotten 2 comments on saying this is not AstroWorld. This is not Travis Scott. And I thought I would get a lot more, but it's kind of funny that this other guy is talking.
Got another question here.
Yeah.
For Shawn, George Lutch is asking, how does Shawn determine exposure time on his images?
Oh, that's a big question.
That's
No,
a big
actually, it's
question.
not. No, it's a really simple one.
It's the same for everything.
I just shoot 5-minute subs. That's all I do.
That's it. I'm with you.
I put no thought into it. I just shoot 5-minute subs and it works.
Yep. I'm with you on that.
I've never actually
what
gone to the extent. Well, it depends which way you're looking. So I can be a Bortle 8 if I'm looking, because I'm on the suburbs. So I'm on the outside edge, the southwest side of the city. So if I'm looking towards the city core, it's about a Bortle 8 sky. That's the northeast. And then when it gets overhead, it goes to about a 7, I'd say. And then if I'm looking into the west or the southwest, it drops to a Bortle 6. So I get about on the SQM meter, I get a 19 point something usually from my location, which isn't great, but it's better than Dan's, that's for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in.
Anything is better than me. The only person that's on this list right now in the chat. Only person on this list that has bad as skies as me is Tarek, and he's in the UAE, and he's got the same exact thing. I think there might be one other person out there that's pretty bad. I think George is pretty bad if I remember right. I thought he was in Scotland if I remember right.
But, well, actually, I see Mark Ellis there. He's saying trial and error, and that's true. Actually, trial and error is that's sort of what I do. You know, if it's similar. If it's a really bright object, maybe I might shoot less. But I typically shoot 5-minute subs, and it works well. It's a good balance. On some occasions on fainter objects I've gone 10 minutes, but for the most part it's 5-minute subs, and it just works for my situation. I just determined that it works well, and there's no need to change that. So, but depending on your situation and your skies and that, you have to sort of you can't necessarily just go by the numbers in terms of what is suggested. You have to test it out and see does it actually work? Is the result good? Are you happy with it? So yeah, for sure.
Sorry,
George.
That's all
it also depends on the target too. It also depends on your target too, because sometimes you get those right. Targets.
If you're shooting,
so a lot of those, like
if
31 or 45. 42.
Yeah, you got to change that up, of course. You can do 5-minute subs on it, but the core is blown out, so you're going to have to balance that out. You're going to have to take some short exposures. So usually on something like M42, I'll take 5-minute subs for the H alpha. But if I'm introducing color RGB and stuff like that, I'll do shorter subs. I'll do 1 minute and 10-second subs as example, just so that I can control the core when I'm processing it. So
that's awesome. I screwed up George's location. Apparently, he's in Dallas, not Scotland. So I was way off.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. He says
we have a Scotland person. I thought his name was George, and I mixed him up. Sorry, George. Too many Georges. Although I do remember Gideon is from France and not from Holland. So
now, Shawn, one of the things that I had floated this idea a couple shows ago, and we were talking about, objects that were really bright, or they had really bright elements, like, for instance, Alnitak, right? That star is just stupid, right? But if you had other objects that were like really bright, and you wanted to control the core, I see as a landscape photographer and such, I do a lot of terrestrial work. I use ND filters and grad NDs and so on and so forth. And I was wondering what it would be like to add a couple of subs, with an ND filter to try to control that. And I got kind of yelled at, we're trying to capture light, not dim it down, this and that. But I don't know if that would work, if it would be, something that might be worth a try.
I don't know.
I just don't know.
Anything's worth a try, man.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt, just to test it out and see if it works. If you get a good result from it, then fantastic. If you don't, well, then there's your answer, right?
Then you know.
Then you know. Yeah.
There it is. Nothing beats a failure but a try, man.
Yep.
Sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's it. Wow. I would say go for it.
One of the things, Dan, that I was kind of hoping that you would do when you do get a chance to test out that harmonic drive, is to run a heavy scope on it and track, and then run something small, really small, and track, and see if the harmonic drive behaves independent of the weight of the scope.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
I'll be very interested to see how that
works. The one thing with the Sharp Star, it's not a dual saddle.
Oh, it's not.
It's not. It's D series Los Mandi only. So you got to have everything, even if it's a Red Cat, it's got to be on a Los Mandi D.
Or an adapter.
Yeah, but then you added more stuff on it, so you may as well just slap a 4-inch detail, on there and just be done with it. But I could grab like a Red Cat from the store and then grab I listen, right now in the store I got an old 16-inch classic tube right now, so I could throw that on there and see if I can lift it. But probably not going to be able to lift that. But I can throw I got a Rasa that I could throw on there or something, an 8-inch Rasa.
Yeah, something like an 8-inch or something like that, is it? Or
yeah,
that would be good. Yeah, that would be a good test. Yeah, an 8-inch Rasa and the
let me know that one since I have the Rasa.
Yeah.
That would be
so you want me to send you the mount so you can test the Rasa? Is that
Just bring it on.
This thing's gonna make it all over the world. I'm telling you. Just don't tell Jeff at the store, okay? Don't tell.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know if he knows how to turn on YouTube, so I don't think he knows how to do that. So.
Yeah, because as a matter of fact, that's what I've been using lately is
the Rasa.
The Rasa.
Yeah.
Going after nebulae, and right now I'm still working on the SH-129, the flying bat and the squid. So I'm doing oxygen right now. I put on so I've been doing oxygen I think for the past 4 nights, and 2 of the nights it turned out really so I had to trash all of that. So now I'm back at it. And that's one of the things that I even love about this, that, you get frustrated, but I also enjoy it too, because it's the challenge of all of it, is that, you put everything out there and when you see what you get, and then when you examine it all, you're like, okay, that night's blown.
Yeah.
Gotta add on this.
I'm having a very similar feeling right as we speak. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at pictures right now that, these stars are not good. I'm not liking what's going on tonight.
And that's just one of those things. It's like, you do the best, especially, with me, I have I don't know if you noticed, Shawn, I have pretty much a ZWO setup. Everything I have is pretty much ZWO. Yeah. So I have the ASI Air, I have the ASI Air Plus, and I'm running all the ZWO cameras, and I have the EAF, and and it's a great ecosystem, especially for people who are very new, to to astrophotography or getting started. It's a great ecosystem, but it can also be a little frustrating. It can, and just like anything else, it'll have its moments. It'll have its moments with guiding. Sure. And it'll go nuts, and then all of a sudden it's like, crap! Now I got to shut the whole thing down, turn it off, turn it all back on again, and start all over again.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. I guess about an hour ago, right before you go on.
Yeah, you were.
Where everything works one night, the next night you're where I am right now, and I'm ready to I'm sitting there ready to just shut it down, and I'm just done, because I'm not going to be. I actually got to be up at 5 a.m, so I'm not going to be troubleshooting anything till midnight.
Ouch.
So I'm not doing anything tonight. So maybe over the weekend, if we got some, clear skies at all. And I think tomorrow's garbage, and I think Sunday's garbage too. But
it looks like right now. Even for me, we're expecting clouds maybe within the next hour or two.
Yeah,
for the rest of the night.
They're hitting us tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I enjoy about the Rasa, is that I can, right now I can take advantage of getting, of at least a couple of hours, of imaging.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, with F2, and then okay, great, and then so if you can find those moments, where you can grab that, grab some time, the roster is great for that. What type of do you use a particular type of weather app or anything like that, like say clear outside or clear dark sky, anything like that in particular that you prefer over another?
Yeah,
all of them
I walk
suck,
out.
man.
I walk out. I know. I walk outside and look.
You're probably more accurate, right?
That's probably what the forecast guy is doing. The weather guy is doing, anyways, right? He's just looking out the window.
It's
looks
horrible.
slightly cloudy.
Looks like rain.
Yeah, I've had in my experience, the best thing to do is just to walk outside and look, because I've had the forecast say the complete opposite. Like I've had it say it's cloudy and it's completely clear, or the opposite of that. So yeah, I always like to just double check. So I use up here in Canada, we have the Weather Network, which I refer to that a lot. I use the Clear Sky chart a little bit for my area, but most of the time I'm just sort of checking, outside and seeing what it's like. I periodically do that, and keeps me up at night sometimes. I like to be able to set it and go to bed, sort of thing. But I'm always up just double checking things now. Like last night there, I was up double checking because clouds were coming in at about 3 a.m. and I didn't know if it was going to bring some snow with it or something, right? So I was all paranoid and so I was up, a few times just checking on stuff. But I don't use a specific one. I sort of look around at all of them to some degree. But ultimately it's going outside and just having a look at the sky and seeing what it's like. So. Yeah.
Do you have any, Shawn? Do you use anything in the way of like oh crap meters? It's raining, that kind of thing. Where you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. No, I don't use anything like that. It's actually, I have thought about installing something like that, but haven't done it as of yet. So I've had oh crap moments where it did start to rain. I had one time that I had just shut down, I would say maybe about 10, 15 minutes before it just poured like crazy. And I was so lucky, but because I would have just destroyed everything if I had. But I've had it drizzled on, some of the equipment and stuff like that. So it's not always a pleasant experience. No. Or when the one night I had the scope didn't do a pier flip for some reason, and it was just crashing against the pier. So I came out, and that was one of those nights I actually didn't get up. So I came out at 5 a.m. or something just to check on it, and I could hear it just grinding away on the gears and stuff.
It's like a drunk Chewbacca.
Yeah. It sounded like a coffee grinder going or something, but so I moved pretty fast for someone that was just up at 5 a.m. I was moving really fast, shutting things down and stopping that from happening.
Yeah, I had a similar occurrence not long, in the spring when I was before I knew I was moving, and I had set up, and thank God I had the telegizmos. Because I literally, within about 30 seconds of me getting that telegizmos over the top of that C-14, it opened up. And I mean, just torrential. I wouldn't have had time to pull the bolts and wheel it back. Thank God I had the telegizmos.
Yep.
It would have destroyed that rig.
Somebody asked me what kind of Travis Scott album is my favorite. Told them I wasn't a fan. But,
Eddie, by the way, your question, you were asking me what our dog's name is. It's Rocky, by the way.
Of course it is.
He asked me about Rocky. So.
Yo, Adrian. Yo. Hey, Rock, what do you think about condominiums? I never use them.
Yeah.
Lord,
Remember John said a little while ago about bleeping stuff out. Remember that?
Oh,
yeah. We were talking about that.
So that's all as good as, hey, Rock, you think there's any brain damage? I don't see any. Anyway, moving on.
That's funny.
So do you have a particular?
You know what?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, just talking about Rocky and stuff like that. I just saw on YouTube there's a new trailer. Van Damme is back with Bloodsport 2. Did you see that?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that movie. That movie's great.
Yeah. So I guess he's gonna. I think he's just gonna. I can't say the word. I have to be careful what I'm saying. But he's gonna hurt a lot of people with a cane, probably. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I think the guy that played his buddy in the first movie, the guy he played Ogre in what I think he died. Didn't he die? I think he died.
Oh, is that right? I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't think he's gonna be in it. But.
I know they brought back some of the characters from the original one. I can't name who it is.
I guess they would bring back Forrest Whitaker. I mean, you can't bring him back.
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker's in there. Yeah, he's definitely in there. And some of the one. I guess the guy that was his opponent or something, his adversary, is back.
Oh, the big Korean Chinese
Bolo?
guy.
Yeah.
Bolo.
I think so. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Nice.
Bolo, is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah. This is
so that's gonna be fun to watch. I'm looking forward to that one. It's coming out in 2022.
I'm psyched.
I was really,
Bloodsport, Bloodsport 2. Kumite.
That's awesome. Kumite, yeah.
Kumite,
I'm so excited now. You just made my day. You made my day. This is going to be awesome.
Kumite with walkers and canes and can Van Damme still do the split?
Can he, yeah. Can he do
Dude,
that?
they're gonna bring
he just needs help.
Yeah.
They're gonna bring Steven Seagal is gonna be in it too. He's gonna be
gosh, yeah. He needs. Yeah, they'll need. Make sure you have the medical trucks there on the set. You never know.
Yeah. No, you know what they'll do? They'll have two guys in green screen suits that'll be holding his arms while he does the splits, and they'll lift him up and down, basically, right?
There you go.
But you won't know because they'll just composite it out.
They'll just do it all out. Yeah,
dude,
go green screen. It's all CGI.
I'll do a Kumite TikTok with a cane on like a skateboard loop thing.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Oh god,
man.
That's cool. So.
This is the beauty of live TV, Shawn. You never know how quickly it's going to go off the rails.
Oh, it
went off the rails.
Yeah, usually
it didn't go off that bad, but
yeah, it didn't go off that bad. Usually when we go off bad, you kind of see the viewers like drop to like single digits in like a minute.
Yeah,
exactly.
so hey. I tuned in to talk about astrophotography or watch astrophotography, and these guys are talking about Bloodsport 2.
We have some moments, man. We
do. Yeah. Oh, we do.
AstroWorld movie reviews.
That's coming. It's coming.
So
look, someone just left.
Yeah, someone just left.
17 just dropped.
It's gonna be like a precipice. It's gonna go.
It's just gonna go right off.
So let me ask this, Shawn. Is there a particular is there like a particular type of deep sky object that you prefer imaging more than others?
That's interesting. Not really. I'm kind of open, given the limitations that I have. I'm open to almost anything.
Sure. I hear that.
So I'm not. I try not to be too picky. I've started to explore, objects maybe that I mean, everyone shoots the same thing over and over again, it seems, every year, when they come around. Yeah. So I've tried to sort of steer away a bit and shoot things that I haven't shot before. So I recently did IC 59 and 63 in Cassiopeia with the Ghost Nebula part of, I think, is IC 63, if I'm not mistaken. So I shot that recently with the Bright Star, and it's a challenging project actually, because you really have to control that bright star that's right next door to it. So I shot
is that Satyr? Is that
No,
is that
you know, I
Seder or
can't
is that
remember.
another one?
No, I don't think. No, it's not.
No, it's
No,
not
I can't
Seder.
remember what's.
But I know one you're talking about. Yeah, the Ghost of Cassiopeia, and it's a beautiful
Now
one.
everyone's gonna go
It's
look it
tough
up.
though.
Yep, we're
Yeah,
all
but it's
looking it
tough.
up now.
Yeah, we're all looking it up now. Now I want to know what that star is.
That might be an interesting one to play around with that ND filter. And see if you can use.
Possibility.
Yeah, that to capture because the ND filter, you're going to be able to leave your exposure open a long time, with that ND filter and capture the data on that star.
Yeah,
and then overlap it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now. Yep.
Gamma Cas.
Yeah, Gamma Cas. Yeah, that's the star. Yeah, I should have known that. I did a video about this. I forgot. But that was a great project. I enjoyed that one because I'd never shot that one before at all. So having an opportunity to do that, and I took the RGB data. I didn't take luminance because I was shooting H alpha, so the H alpha was going to sub as the luminance, right? So, but the H alpha, the H alpha really helped. It really made it pop, and I was really happy with the result that I got from that image. Yeah, and then I've been taking some narrowband data on the Lion's Head Nebula recently. I've never shot that before. And that's been fun. I haven't done anything with the data yet. I've just been collecting it. So I look at it every night. I look at the data. I like to check just to see how it looks. Inspect it, get rid of bad frames and stuff like that. I do it all manually. I don't use the subframe selector or anything like that. I know some people like that.
I was going to ask that. How do you select your frames?
I'm old school. I actually look at it in Blink. So I'll run it through Blink the first time just at full image and just check for clouds or anything like that. And then I'll zoom in and I'll run Blink again and I'll look for any problems with the stars or something like that. And I just manually delete whatever. And it that works for me. That's just the way I'm used to doing it. So it works really well for me. And then I just keep that data and keep adding to it as I can. And there's no set amount that I go for. It's largely when I get bored shooting that object,
Right.
So because sometimes you reach that point where it's like, oh my God, I just can't shoot that again tonight. I got to shoot something else. So
I want to shoot something else.
I've done that. Especially when you get into the 20-hour or 30-hour projects, you start feeling that way. It's like, again, you're on night 9 or something, and it's like, really, you can't image anything else. You have to go back to this one.
You have to go back to this one. Yeah. And that's what I'm doing like right now with this one, with the flying bat and the squid, is like what I was mentioning. I blink everything and then you look at it, it's like the larger stars look great, the larger, but then when you go deep in, and then the smaller stars are out of focus, and then you're like, and they're all that way.
I had a weird.
This is just trash.
Yeah, I had a weird problem that was occurring, and I never really found an answer as to why. It seems to have fixed itself, but my S2 filter. I would initially at the beginning of the night, I'd run the autofocus and focus all the filters for the offsets and whatnot, and everything was fine. But as it autofocused throughout the night on the S2 filter, the focus was soft. It was off, like noticeable enough, right? Like the stars weren't pinpoint and that. So, and I battled that for a few weeks actually, and then all of a sudden it's working again fine. So it's one of those gremlins and stuff like that we get in the hobby. They just sort of pop up and weird things happen. But that was a source of frustration because I wasted a lot of nights taking S2 data. And it was no good. I couldn't use it. So it's one of those times where I referred back to my stupid hobby statement. Why am I doing this?
Why am I doing this?
Well, sometimes you just sort of wonder, like, why do you put yourself through this hell? Like, there's so many more hobbies that are easier.
I always equate it to golf, and I used to golf a lot. And you sit there, it's just like the astronomy trials and tribulations are just like a game of golf. Except golf, you have holes, and you're gonna have a hole you're gonna be like, oh my God, I shot a 9 on this hole. This is horrible. And next thing you know, you par the next one. And that's why people keep going back, because you get that good shot and you get that good image, and you're like, I did that. That's why I put myself through this. And then that puts you through a couple of months until the next time you want to pull your hair out.
Yeah, it becomes a bit of an obsession, I found, at least for me anyways, where, even if it's any clear night, even if it's a full moon, I feel like if I'm not out there doing something, I'm missing out. I have to be out there imaging, just, for the hell of it. Even if I know that it's not necessarily going to be the greatest result, I'm still out there doing it. So, definitely, I think that the hobby at some point becomes an obsession for a lotot of people.
Yeah,
for me, I'm just a
I
masochist. That's all. I just like to torture myself, and that's
to beat yourself up.
Yeah.
No, but I'm the same way. I'm the same way. The wife asks me every night, "So you're outside tonight?" That's what she says. So you're outside tonight? And it's like, yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Because for me, I purchased the NBZ, for example, and I was using it to go over to Alnitak, and over to the Horsehead Nebula, and it was like on the full moon. So it was like, I'm imaging.
How'd it work out? Did it work out good?
It didn't. It worked out. I think it worked out pretty well.
Pretty good. Yeah. Awesome.
It did pretty good. So I was pretty pleased with it.
I'm actually interested in when it comes. Well, for me, I have to wait until, like I was saying earlier, I have to wait until February, March in order to image Orion, just because of trees and stuff like that. But and I know it's been done before, but Chuck's Astrophotography there, he had an image out of the Horsehead and the Flame Nebula that he did in narrowband, which is really psychedelic looking. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to mark that one down as a project when it comes around, because I really liked how it looked. It was very different from the usual take on that object. And it's great to spice things up a bit, change things up and do the experimenting, try things, see what happens. It doesn't hurt. You could be really impressed or really happy with the result. And then sometimes not. But it's all part of the game, right? So
but you sit there, you look at, hey, by the way, I did this, and this is what, take it or leave it. That's what it is.
That's it. Yeah. So if you here, I will. Let me see here if I can share my screen.
Sure. Yeah, you can.
So breaks. Yep. And so there it is.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah.
And so you can see on attack. It was pretty. And this was at the NBZ, and it was really well controlled.
Yeah, manageable. It's well controlled for that. Yeah, it's very manageable. Yeah.
It's very manageable.
That's a typical star. So
it is.
Big pain.
That's a B of a star.
Oh my God.
It is. It can. Yes, definitely.
Even with even with the I got the Antillas, Antlias, or whatever you pronounce. I got the 3 nanometers.
Antlias.
And even the H alpha looked great. And as you get into the O3, started to see some halos around the O3. And
now what were you shooting? What were you shooting that you saw the halos? Like what object were you on?
On Alnitak.
Oh, you're on Alnitak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, on Alnitak. Yeah, so same picture.
Yeah, that's what I'm interested to see with the because Optolong is sending me their 3 nanometer filters. Yeah, next week they're shipping them out. So I'm interested to test it and see. So far, Ron has shot with them, and he's reporting no halos with the filters, but he hasn't shot a really bright star yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, like I would go at something that's notoriously bright and see what kind of results come from it.
You got one coming, so.
So again,
Shawn,
exactly. I want to thank you, man, because I was telling my wife this just today, that because you were helping, showing me, your rendition, helping me out with M31, and I was like, and I hope you don't take this to offense, but I call you Yoda, Yoda.
So, knowledge, not looks.
No, exactly, absolutely not, because of your skill. So I was like,
I'm insulted. I'm out of here.
I was like, Shawn has helped me out so many times, either through his videos or just and personally, chatting with me. So I was like, for example, this is the same image of the horse head, and this was the first image I did. And then looking at your video, for example, on the game script and the multi-point, that, you know, it helped me, that helped me go to this, you know, to this rendition, you know, with the flame.
Right, there you go. Yeah, I was actually, it's funny that you brought that up, because I was looking at that. I was looking at the flame, and I was thinking you could mask that out and adjust the colors a bit there to bring out the more natural look of the flame.
Yeah, because and that's kind of what I was doing, you know, to go from the first rendition, you know, down to here, you know, to this rendition. So I was like, again, you know, I was like, yeah, he's like truly one of the masters of Pix Insight, man. Because I was like, thank you.
Well, I hate when people say that. A master of Pix Insight. I'm not a master. I'm just a guy that
not like, you know, it's just, you know, I look at you, you know, it's like this guy that, you know,
don't
you really,
label
you know,
me.
you so no, I don't know. It's just you're awesome, man. So I was like, thank you.
Well, thanks, Eric. Appreciate that. That's awesome. I feel the love. Thank you. I just happen to know a lot. You know what? I will give a lot of credit to Ron. Ron's a good friend, and he showed me a lot of stuff with. He introduced me to Pix Insight, and because I actually used Photoshop for many years, and I tried Pix Insight, didn't like it, went back to Photoshop, and then Ron was. He kept going on about Pix Insight and stuff like that. So So I gave it another try. It was a tough learning curve. It was a really hard learning curve because a lot of the terminology that they use in the program, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't translate, right? And then there's a lot of things that you can do in Photoshop relatively easy that you can't do in Pix Insight the same way. So it took a lot of effort and a lot of time, and I had input from other people too. So it wasn't just me, learning it all by myself and stuff like that. But that's that is the nature of the hobby, I think, in a lot of ways. When I was starting out in astrophotography, I didn't know anything about darks or flats or anything, and I learned from other people that were more experienced. So part of me starting my YouTube channel, as example, was to give back, right? To sort of help people that are in the hobby or getting into the hobby maybe and don't understand some of these principles of it. Help them with understanding and just like I was helped basically. That's so that's really that was the premise of starting the YouTube channel, was to give back, and it's actually really interesting to be able to see the results of that. I get people that contact me and they thank me, for helping them and stuff and getting them started and helping them make sense of, their processing and Pix Insight and whatever it is, So it's really nice to hear from people, and I've made some new friends online too because of it, right? So which is really fantastic. Yeah.
How's the book coming along? How's the book being the second edition? Is this a second edition? That you've
the tutorial. The tutorial.
Yeah, the tutorials. Yeah, the tutorial.
Oh yeah. No, it's not a book.
It's like you're writing a book. You wrote a book. I was like,
no. Sorry. Yes. It's actually a tutorial. Sorry.
I was like, where was I, man? I got all the books from everybody all over the place.
Tutorial.
It's called Mastering Pix Insight.
Oh no! Where's my book?
I'm just tweaking it a little bit, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
No, actually, the second tutorial is actually been very well received. There we go, Mastering Pix Insight. Yeah. Yeah, no, the second tutorial has been really well received. It worked. A lot of people. It actually sold quite a bit. There's a lot of people. It's even currently selling, and people are really happy with it. I put a lot more into it than I did the first one. The first one was only an hour long. This second one is 3 hours long. So I dive a lot deeper into Pix Insight and the processes and whatnot. So it's worked out really well, and people have been really happy with the results that they get. And they've shared their images with me and stuff like that, and it's fantastic to see. They do the before and afters in some cases, and it's great to see that the tutorial has helped people and stuff. So it's great. And I got a bit of the first time around with the tutorial in 2020 was really great. I had good experience with it. It was well received. The second time around here with the new one, I actually got some blowback or pushback from it. People thinking that, oh, you shouldn't be selling it and stuff like that. It should be free and blah, blah, blah. And I had some really nasty comments and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
I actually had to block one guy because he just went right off the rails. He was just crazy about it. But what's happened is I have turned my passion into a little bit of a business as well.
Yeah.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. It's like Trevor with Astro Backyard. Trevor went full time. He quit his job. He quit his day job to do Astro Backyard full time because he managed to build it up to something that was able to generate an income for him that he could do what he loved doing. And that's fantastic. So that when I first started my YouTube channel was to help people, and it sort of morphed itself into a business of sorts as well, where I can actually generate a modest income as well from it, which is fantastic. And that helps. That goes a long way because that helps with helping other people, right? Because helping other people doesn't necessarily come free all the time. There's sacrifices that you have to make and whatnot. So being able to have that little bit of income from it really helps make things better, and it helps grow the channel. It helps grow what I'm able to do and what I'm able to provide and how I'm able to help people. So yeah,
well, I'm one of the ones that kind of benefited from your help, and I know all of us have.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And you know what? There's so many people out there that are so knowledgeable on astrophotography and PixInsight and even Photoshop and whatnot. It's great that everyone sort of contributes, I think, to the community in a positive way like that, and in helping other people learn and navigate the waters, because it's tough. It's not an easy hobby. It's one of the most difficult forms of photography, I think, out there. By any stretch. So yeah. So always great to have people that want to help and join in and make a difference in people's lives. I really like that. I like that. I like that feeling that I get from it. So
yeah, even when I don't do it as often as as you. But even when I put out, my videos on, the ASI Air and stuff like that, and working with the RASA, for example, I get a lot of good feedback, from positive feedback that says, thank you for helping me, because I had no idea, until I saw your video, how, to do this with the ASI Air and with this particular, say, Celestron mount and stuff like that. And so that's, and I'm not doing it for, for any type of money. I'm just saying, hey, this is something I learned. I found out, so I'm just going to put it out there and say, hey, did you know? And then there you go. So whatever, whatever comes out of it, comes out of it. And it doesn't always work for, and I've gotten some feedback that certain things haven't worked for everybody. And, I wouldn't expect everything to work for everybody, but for the general consensus, majority of people that, the videos have helped them in one way, shape, or form, So, so it doesn't work for everybody, but, when I do put it out there, it's good to know that, hey, just like for you, you get some, a little bit of satisfaction knowing you're helping somebody out.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And that certainly keeps me moving forward too, is that knowing that I'm helping people and getting that feedback from people, people emailing, people, messaging me and stuff like that, telling me that, I've made a difference for them and stuff. And that really trumps a lot of the negativity that can be out there as well, especially on YouTube. So.
It's good. Like you said, there could be a lot of hate. It could get real evil real quick.
It can get nasty really fast.
And you know what? It's all about, and it's the same thing with everything else. You just got to have a little bit of a thicker skin, especially when you put yourself out there.
Well, you know what? You're always going to have people that hate you or dislike you when you start doing what you love. That's what I always say. So, but you got to focus on the positive and those positive experiences and stuff. It was actually interesting because Trevor had done a video about burnout in the hobby.
Yep.
And this goes back maybe a month or two ago or something. I'm not sure exactly, but burnout in a hobby. And I could really relate to that because I actually had a burnout period where I actually stopped producing videos on YouTube for 3 months. And it was really shocking to me how many people that were subscribers were actually contacting me, checking in, basically saying, "Are you okay? What's going on? What's wrong?" You know?
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is like really, really amazing. I was really blown away by the fact that people, you know, I guess that I had reached people in such a way that they were actually concerned with my well-being and what was going on. So Trevor doing that video, the tie into that is just it was something that isn't talked about in the hobby a lot, is the burnout and the fatigue from doing this hobby, and because it can be very frustrating and it can be very maddening. You know, so some people get fed up and they just, you know, sell their equipment, and then, you know, because they're so mad and they're so upset with everything, they sell it, and then, you know, 6 months later they're buying the same gear again and trying over, you know, doing crazy stuff like that. So his video really hit home. I thought it was a really interesting video that he put out there, and it certainly was something that I could relate to.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I've been a professional.
Who was it? The guy who did Roswell Astronomy. There was a gentleman who did Roswell Astronomy. He was putting out videos quite a bit, but he suffered from burnout too, and also some negativity from, I guess, other companies or people that sent him stuff or whatever. So he ended up actually just killing this channel, you know, just saying, I'm stepping away for a while.
You know, that's interesting that you brought that up, Roswell, because...
And then he came back.
Did he come back? Okay, because I remember, I think he contacted me one time back a couple years ago and stuff, and then then, you know what? Now that you mention it, I didn't see anything from him for quite a while.
Yeah. So
that's
now
an interesting
he's back
background story.
So now he's back with he's got a new channel called Georgia Astronomy versus Roswell.
Oh, okay.
I guess he was living in Roswell, Georgia, and then when he, you know, things happened and he got burned out, and he had to step away from some negative stuff that was happening on YouTube, and he just stepped away for about, I don't know, maybe almost a year. He walked away from it for a little bit, and then he came back, and, you know, he's back at it, and he says, you know what? You know, take it or leave it. This is who I am. This is, you know, this is, you know, the things I'm going to do. And I just enjoy this hobby, and I enjoy this hobby, and I'm just going to, you know, just keep doing this, you know, just the stuff that I love.
You can't let the people on YouTube or your subscriber base dictate what you're going to do. That was something that Helena from Helena's Astrophotography told me when we were in the Astro Chat, the first one, because I was talking about how I painted myself into a corner, I felt, with the PixInsight stuff, where the subscriber base was just interested in the PixInsight stuff, but I wanted to do other stuff too, right? But a lot of that other stuff wasn't necessarily well received because they were looking for the PixInsight stuff. And the reality is, there's only so much you can do with PixInsight. At some point, you start repeating the same things, right? So I wanted to be able to branch out. I wanted the channel to be more than that. So that was advice that I took from her very, very to heart. And it makes a lot of sense when you think about it, I think. So
it does.
You know, I've been a professional photographer for a long time. And I've shot a lot of groups. I've shot, you know, a lot of families, this and that. I actually, you know, one of the things that I live by is that I don't judge my insides based on your outsides. You know, that you teach people how to treat you. You teach people how to treat you. And I have in my contracts, when I work with people, I have in my contracts what I affectionately call my bridezilla clause. You know, and that basically means is that if you're not going to treat me and anybody that I'm working with respect, I'm going to put my cameras down. I'm going to eat your shrimp. I'm going to take your deposit, and I'm not going to give you your photographs. and you're not going to get drunk and treat us like slaves. And that I got it worded a little differently in my contract than that, but that's basically the heart of it. That you're going to give us the respect that we deserve, and you teach people how to treat you. And Shawn, you're absolutely right. You cannot allow the people that are on YouTube to dictate what you're doing. You just can't do that. If you become a slave to them instead of chasing your passion.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly.
And you got to chase that passion, man. No matter what you do, you got to chase that passion.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm trying to do. So that's what you guys are doing too, I think, by doing the show.
We're trying.
Right? We're
trying. Yeah. And I guess we're making some sort of splash, because from what you said before with the whole Travis Scott thing, we just had our third comment up there from the
Where's
third
Travis?
different person saying, "Where's Travis?" We have never had anybody commenting like that yet. This is the first night that's ever happened. So you might have been bringing them, Shawn. So
that's awesome.
Unbelievable.
You got 22 people watching. That's pretty good.
23.
Oh,
23.
24. Mine just hit 24.
Now 24.
24. It's all these people looking for Travis Scott, I think. That's This is not look, it's another one. Came here for Travis.
I came here for Travis. Sorry.
I guess he must be doing something tonight, because we've never had this type of response from a Travis Scott thing. We've never had this before. He must be doing something. So this is not, for those of you that are watching, we appreciate it. Be part of the community. Come hang out. But there is no Travis Scott here. I do apologize.
We're talking about the stars, man.
Yeah.
And the ones that are up there, not the ones that are on stage.
Yeah.
Right.
So sorry. I'm sure Travis Scott is on another channel. He's just not here. We got Shawn Neilsen. He's just as famous as Travis Scott.
There you go.
But hey, he is one of our stars in the sky that we have as a guest speaker tonight. So.
That's great. Yeah, no, I was really excited to come back on. I know that you had tried to get me on before, and it just didn't work out and stuff like that. So, but really excited to. You know what? There's a lot of times where I'm watching. I don't necessarily always comment and stuff, but I am watching in that. And there's, like I said to you, Dan, there's a lot of times I just want to jump in there and be on the screen and talk with you guys, because you guys come up with some interesting chats a lot of times, and I really enjoy listening to it. So fantastic work, very good job.
We appreciate that. Thank you so much.
That,
we you know what the funny thing is, that we don't put a lot of thought into what we kind of do. We just sit there and say about an hour before, hey, what's the topics? And
and then and we never stick to the topic. Whatever is on that title,
never
stick to it.
No. So
it's never ends up being.
No, that's why I told everybody last Wednesday that I refuse to put titles on the show from now on, because you know what? Here's the thing: you come up with a topic, then somebody asks a question regarding that topic, and then. It
goes off the rails.
It just goes.
It goes.
It's not necessarily off the rails, but it's related.
Not off the rails, but but you know what I mean. It takes a different direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. We get photobombed by Shark Boy and my son and dogs, and
you got Shark Boy.
You should have seen that one night when Dan's wife and I think it was his mother-in-law, they were having something going on, and he literally said, "Hold on," and he got up and slammed the door. I think we wet ourselves laughing. It was so funny.
Dude,
oh my God.
The noise level on the mic went like through the roof because the door was slammed so hard. I said,
I just about died.
All of a sudden, it was dead silence in the other room. It was just like, was that Dan?
Hey, did you see what George wrote?
Travis is out by the scope imaging.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, Travis Scott. It was my goal in life to kick Travis Scott off the first page of the AstroWorld search on YouTube, and we have succeeded apparently. So
you've succeeded, because I searched twice. I searched on my mobile phone and I searched on the PC for AstroWorld before the show, and you came up top of the list. So
swear one day I'm gonna get sued somewhere along the line.
Hey, nah. I mean, heck, you've been doing this for years. Man.
Yeah, but it's completely different. It has nothing to do with music. So
yeah, I was just gonna say, it's not music related. It's a completely different.
Yeah,
it's a totally different thing.
You can have the same name, but it's a totally different thing, right?
Yeah.
So,
if I came out with an album, like a musical album called AstroWorld, then that would be a problem.
That would be a problem.
That would be a problem.
The greatest hits by Dan.
Oh man, I'll put my Pennywise on there and my Neil Diamond. I like to have fun on my videos. I made a new TikTok for Neil Diamond. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I kind of
not yet.
My hair.
I saw it. Yeah, you sent it to me. Yeah, that was funny.
This. Crap rap. He's a rapper. He's actually pretty famous. He's a rapper. He's pretty famous. You gotta give the guy credit. He's done some good stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
He's an artist, man.
Yep.
Yeah. It may not be your thing, but he's probably good at what he does.
It's like the Beatles. Not my thing. I'm an Elvis guy. So.
Okay. There you go.
Like
exactly.
Elvis.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. I don't like whiny Brits on the record.
Hey, look,
my gosh, Chuck's on.
Chuck
came on, man. All right.
Chuck's on.
We have now hit the.
Chuck.
Now we got two tonight. We got Shawn and Chuck. Yeah, we're on the big time now. We made it.
Big time, eh?
We made it.
We have arrived.
Chuck is the big time. Chuck's the big time. He's his channel has grown phenomenally over last year. Unbelievable growth. He was starting out in the 10, 20,000 sort of range in that just a year ago or so. And he's ballooned to 179,000, I think was the last count that I saw. It's just incredible growth. Like he's really doing a great job with his channel. He actually said to me in the Astro chat, he said that a lot of his stuff is low budget and stuff like that. But you know what? It doesn't matter. You're doing something fantastic. Yeah. It's all about the content, and people can relate to him, and they love it. And he's got a great following, so fantastic that he's being able to, do what he loves and see the growth from it too. That's really fantastic.
Yeah, I've been trying to get Chuck to come on the show. Maybe he'll come on now.
Chuck, you gotta come on the show, man. Come on, man.
Because he was actually, I want to say. He hung out with us when it was Cosmic Charlie and Declination Dan. This was before pre-AstroWorld. This was the first, the first project that me and Charlie did. And he hung out with us once, and him and TJ Connolly and Doug Struble.
Nice.
So that was.
That sounds like a good group. Yeah.
That was about 3 years ago. That was maybe 4, but it was a while ago. See, there you go. Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate it.
There you go.
It was all about the Nick. I miss Charlie so much, man, and I know he comes. I've known him since high school, and we kind of lost contact, and we came back together, and Astro brought us together. And he bought an 8SE, and I started showing him what I know. And he bought a 127 Essential and went that way. And then he came up with some family issues, and he kind of stepped away, and he hasn't come back. He keeps on telling me he misses it. And Charlie, if you're out there, you are more than welcome to come back whenever you're ready. So. We had a good time. It was definitely it was an interesting chemistry with me and Charlie, because he was like kind of always like this, yo man, come on, and I was like trying to be like, believe it or not, he was a funny guy, I was a straight guy, so it's kind of changed a little bit, but.
So Chuck, are you out there imaging tonight, or are you just chilling out right now? Just kind of curious.
He's in what? He's in Chicago.
He's in Detroit.
He's in Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah.
He's in Detroit. He's just outside of the airport.
He's in Detroit. So,
just outside, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, he's got some pretty good pollution there, too.
I was going to say, another bad Bortle piss Paris guy.
Yep. Ray's Astrophotography. Ray's on.
Ray's Astrophotography came
Oh my
on.
God!
I'm like, look at that.
This has got to be the Shawn Neilsen
That's
effect
unheard
because
of.
this is.
It's got to be.
It's
got to be.
It's got to
all
be, man.
me.
Because trust
definitely.
me,
This
just
gotta,
the three of us, we wouldn't be attracting.
yeah. We wouldn't be getting these high caliber guests on the chat box if Shawn wasn't around because this is not
high caliber. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Ray and Chuck joining this up the show quite a
Ray,
bit. Yeah,
Ray, I love your videos as well. I watch them all the time. You, Chuck, Shawn, all you guys, Trevor, you are the guys. You are the guys that the majority of the people, and I know I'm missing people like Amy Astro and I'm missing a whole bunch of people. Helena and Quiv and Dylan and
Dylan.
you got Damian Peach for his planetary stuff. I mean, so you guys, you like major like 10, 15 people are the ones that a lot of people go to for information on how to jump those hurdles and how to learn and how to kind of pay attention and do things and from the most simplest things on what scope to buy to where am I screwing up in this process in either PixInsight, Photoshop, whatever. And they go to you guys for a lot of the videos and a lot of the information. So I'm just going to say it probably for everybody out there. Thank you for putting yourself out there like that because this hobby would be a lot harder without the tutorials and everything else and the information that you guys put out. So,
there's no doubt about that.
For sure. And that's what we were talking about earlier. That's what makes this community, and that's what I consider this. I consider this a community. It's so great because you have people like Shawn, people like Trevor and Chuck, and Ray and Amy and everybody else, even and even us. That we're out there and we're putting ourselves out there and people come to us and they trust us and we do the best we can, because we're all human and we put it out there and people are responding to it and people appreciate what we're doing, because this is such a small community. This is such a small community. You can only go, there's only so many places you can go
to get
for
the information. Yeah, absolutely.
That you're looking for.
Sure.
So so it's awesome. It's totally awesome.
Not for nothing, but Ray.
What was that?
Ray was the first. He was the guy that when I was watching his channel, he was I think was the first guy that I ever saw with a big SCT. On a
wheelie bar,
harmonic drive.
On the harmonic,
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's funny.
And that's what that was one of the things that inspired me to go with that harmonic drive was watching Ray's. I think he had a 14 on it. And
I think you're right.
I think it was the 14.
Yeah. Yep.
Man.
I guess Beatrice says that Ray is building an observatory too. So that's
really?
Nice. Yeah. I'd be kind of curious, Ray. Which one are you building a roll off, or is it something, or is it a dome or something else?
Let's see what he says.
Curious. See what he says.
Yeah. He's down in Texas, right?
I think he is. So I think he's in Texas.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
I think he is.
But it's amazing.
Yeah, I love watching all of their videos and stuff. I get a lot of good. I mean, even their PixInsight stuff that some of them do. There's little nuggets of information that I learn from them, or vice versa. I'd like to think, but it's great. You got so many different contributors to the Astro community, and it's just great to see everyone come together and help each other and whatnot. So
yeah, it's awesome.
No, because I've gotten a lot of tips from Chuck, because even Chuck, when he has an 8SE, and there were times where he would do videos, planetary videos, he would do solar imaging videos with the 8SE, and it got me to saying, you know what? I've got an 8SE, sitting right over here. Why not? and let's see what I can do with it, and it's in those videos inspired me to do quite a bit of stuff. So yeah.
He's doing a roll-off
he's doing a
observatory,
roll-off
20
by 10
with a 10 by 10
nice.
sky window.
Wow.
Awesome.
Southwest Austin.
Yeah, Southwest Austin. Yeah.
Dripping Springs. Yeah. Nice. That'll be a really nice observatory. I wish I had that in my backyard.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I wish I had a big enough backyard to put something like that in there.
Yeah.
My backyard's tiny, but it's just I was lucky. Well, I didn't do what you did, but I kind of said, listen, I'm gonna put a pier back here. We're stuck in this house. I said I'm gonna put a pier back there, and she didn't really know what she was getting into. So now I got this nice little. Well, I put it on a big pad. I needed to raise the pier a little bit because I got these damn forsythia bushes that I'm shooting over. So I had to raise it by about 12 inches. So it's 12 inches off the ground through a 4.5 foot sonotube and the whole thing and all all that stuff, the normal stuff. But I mean, so the EQ8R stands at like 5 feet. The head is so it's pretty high up, and once you put the dovetail up, the top of the scope is over my head. So, but it works great though. I mean, I love it. I think I'm like this close to stop doing side by side though. I don't think it's kind of worth it. I think I'm just gonna.
How come you went side by side and not piggybacking? What was up with that?
I went back and forth like 5 times. I mean,
you did, yeah.
I literally.
Were you having difficulty with the piggyback?
I was, and I'm gonna put it up to user error. I really am, because for whatever reason, and it doesn't make any sense. I know I've spoken to everybody. It makes no sense. I had everything piggybacked right up. I had, the 127, the 80, and I had a guide scope on top, a little tiny one. In between, I had the Eagle sitting in between somewhere. So there were a lot of pinch points where things could be either not loosened up or not tightened enough or whatever. And for whatever reason, I was doing, this is when I started the Wizard. I shot the Wizard, the plate cell was fine, everything was good, but the 80 was like way off, which doesn't make any sense. So the Wizard was in the middle of the 127 frame, but in the 80, which is a wider field of view, obviously, it was all the way on the right side, all the way over here. And I'm like, I'm sure something, I have a couple of clutches in there for the Eagle, and I got dovetails all over the place. So I'm going to chalk it up to me not tightening up one of the knobs where the telescope was just shifted a little bit.
Well,
I may go back.
There has to be something.
Yeah, I may go back.
I would give it a try because Ron's doing a piggyback situation, and with the 150 and the 106, he's doing piggyback, and he's getting some really good results with it. So
yeah, I'm sure, and I'm telling you, it's all me. I mean, I know it's all me, but because there's just no way that it could be off like that. With it's half the it's half the focal length.
The first step to recovery.
Accept it, man.
I'm still in denial. I'm sorry. I'm still in denial. It's not me. It's not me.
Accept it. It is you.
It's like when you get mad at the golf club for shanking a shot. I mean, it's like, But anyway, I don't even golf anymore.
Ray was asking in the chat there what the tallest pier is that could be built. I actually don't know what the tallest one could be.
Oh, wow.
I've seen... I've seen
you've
them
got
huge.
PureTech out there that has the telescoping. Because you buy the PureTech.
Yeah, the PureTech.
And those are the telescopic. So those can go really up. I mean, my pier itself, I believe my pier, it's an Ioptron, and it's one of the Ioptron piers, and I believe it was 36 inches, and I put it on basically like an 18-inch concrete block. So I can get a little bit of elevation, because eventually, the wife was, she's already said, so there's no backsies. She said I can get an observatory, so there's no backslash. You can't go
Awesome.
back on
There
this.
you go. Yeah, you can't.
So
Did you videotape
so
it?
eventually
You got it on video?
Yeah, so I got it on tape.
Yeah, can you just repeat that?
Yeah, just repeat that, And don't forget, say your name and give me the date. This is like a deposition.
Super chat. Yeah.
Yeah, what is super chat? What is that?
That's where people can make contributions. They can make donations to you, basically. You may have it enabled, you may not. I don't think that on my channel. I don't think on my channel they've enabled it yet. So it's only see, Chuck is so big and popular, right? So of course they enabled it for him, right? But it can allow people that are enjoying your content to contribute basically to the show and help keep it going, right?
Yeah.
So
it's almost kind of like a Patreon in a way.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's sort of like
that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we don't. Okay.
Patreon.
You just said it's under monetization. That's why I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it is.
Because I don't have 1,000 subscribers yet, so I'm not there yet.
There,
so we're getting there.
Oh, that's right.
So,
yeah, that's right. You're getting there, though. Yeah, you're up a little bit.
It's funny because I keep on finding out that and I've known this, and we've spoken about this on the show for a long time, that the live shows don't really get a lot of bumps in subscribers. It's the content videos that will get you
until now. Until today. We got Shawn, you got Chuck, you got Ray,
you got the Ray.
Superstar.
We're gonna break the internet.
Got them all. That's really fantastic that Chuck and Ray jumped on, though.
I know, it's amazing.
Awesome.
Hey, thanks for coming on, guys. I appreciate it. You guys, I appreciate the support, man. You guys are good.
The support, absolutely.
I really do.
No, that's fantastic, and that just shows you the community too, how tight knit it is, right? You got big players like Chuck and Ray coming on to help support, other people that are contributing to the Astro community. That's wonderful.
Yeah, just so you know, we actually got a bunch of other guests coming up really quick.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Since we got all these other superstars, let's talk about superstars. So we got Warren Keller, which is 12 days from today. One of the masters of PixInsight and the author of Inside PixInsight will be on. After that, we got Henrik, who is the creator of the Star Aid, which is a self-contained guider that has hit the market about 6 months ago, and it's starting to make a little bit of a splash. So he's going to come on and give us a nice little rundown on how it works and what it all is about. Then on
Thanks
December
to Pete Myers
7th,
for that one.
What?
Thanks to Pete Myers.
Yeah,
for that
Pete Myers hooked us up with Henrik over there. And then we're waiting on, and I say it every night, I'm gonna butcher his name, Ivanov Prolov, I think his name is. He is the writer of APT, and he's gonna be on. He's a creator of APT, and he's in the process of a really big release that was supposed to be out this month. So look out for that. Once that's done, he's gonna come on. And then December 17th, we have Amy Astro, and she's going to come on.
Awesome. That's
and
great.
First quarter of 2023, we will have Filippo, Omar, and Tom Bramwell on from Prima Luce Lab. So the CEO, the engineer, and the I guess he's director of the North American region of Prima Luce. And that's going to be a recorded one, unfortunately, because of the time differences. But that's going to be a lot of fun. So that's what we got going on in the future. So it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic lineup. Yeah.
And then we're going to have Shawn back probably in April. So, I mean, yeah. We're not going to wait a year again to do this because we have too much fun with you. I mean, I'm looking at the clock. It's been 2.5 hours
Yeah,
And
you guys, you know what? Anytime you want me on, just let me know. You just have to make a space for me somewhere. That's all, right?
yeah,
I'll even go right in the middle.
Yeah.
I got you know what? I'll put the spinning globe on your head, and I'll, you know.
There you go. Yeah, just stick me right in there. Yeah, right with the spinning globe.
Like a Christmas ornament.
Yeah, so, there you go.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
There it is.
That's awesome.
And right here we go. We'll just do this. Here you go. You ready? We'll pan this guy over this way.
Oh, there we go.
And
There we go.
There it is.
That's too much fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the only thing I know how to do.
That's
I
great.
can't do the audio, but I can move the globe around. That's what I can do.
That's awesome.
We got to figure out
We
how
got
to do a
really,
six up. That's what we
we've
got
got
to
a
do.
really cool lineup, that's coming up this year, this upcoming, for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And we've been really fortunate to have other people that have come on like yourself, Shawn.
Yep.
We've had, we've had Ron come on, Ron Breacher. He was able to join us for a bit. Adam Block's come on with us twice, and I think I was the reason why he came on the second time.
Yeah, you were. You were. I know.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a good reason, but
it wasn't a good reason. But it was okay. But it was awesome to have him on. So no, this has been an awesome year so far.
Yeah.
To have people that have been really cool to come on.
A lot of people have come out, like yourself, to come out and support what we're doing, and we appreciate it because you know what, all the people. I mean, we've now grown from, well, starting with me and Charlie. Then Eric came on. Then Jason came on. Then Scott, and then we got Tegan from High Point and Pete Myers from.
Don't forget Tegan.
I said Tegan. Tegan from High Point.
Tegan.
Yep.
Tegan.
And don't forget Simon Lewis, who is on the ZWO team down in New Zealand. So he isn't on the show a lot, but he's actually the guy that's kind of revamping the website for us. So but he's a big time astrophotographer. He was the president of the Canterbury Astronomy Society, I think CAS, and in New Zealand. So it's cool. It's great. When is Jason coming back? Jason was coming back soon, I hope. Jason, for those of you that don't know Jason, and I'm sure he won't mind me sharing this, but he is an event person where he deals with audio, video for arenas and events. He just did a Sotheby's auction for Picasso's recently. He just did a whole bunch of things in huge arenas. He deals with switching and TVs and lights and cameras and everything. So
yeah, he's like he does a lot of producing and stuff like that, I guess, for video and
you let Ray
all that stuff. So yeah.
But
I
see
Ray's been awesome.
Ray's leaving.
Yep.
So
bye, Ray. Thank you.
So, hey, Ray, thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah.
And then
that was awesome.
I don't know if you guys heard that that ZWO is released in public beta right now. They have their new 1.8 release for the ASIR.
No, I had no idea.
It's it's like 1.8881.
Hi, Chuck.
Yes, thanks, Chuck. Which is really cool.
Yeah, see you, Chuck.
Because that's going to give even more enhancements to planetary. They're going to do planetary. It's going to do planet. You can be able to do planetary stacking. We do live stacking on planetary. That's going to be the big one.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's going to be. So that'll be. That one's really cool. And they're doing a couple other things as far as with guiding. They're doing enabling bin 2. So you can bin. Bin 2, for auto guiding and stuff like that.
Awesome.
Which is going to be kind of cool. So that can help out quite a bit for seeing those fainter stars, when you're adding, when you're grouping them up like that. So that's going to be really cool. Nice. So there's a lot of cool stuff that's even come to ZWO's doing right now. That I personally, as me being the ASIR guy, am going to be looking forward to. So
cool.
It's there's a lot of cool stuff that's happening. ZWO is really pushing, the envelope, in my opinion, for everything they're doing with the ASIR. It's that for $300 to do, all of these cool, to do all of your, acquisition and auto guiding and everything, in this one little mini computer, and I've got all 3 versions now. And I was lucky enough to be considered a experienced officer, and I was one of the first to get the ASI Air Plus. And I tell you, it's been great. That ASI Air Plus is going to be, for me right now, being at home, I'm not using it as much. I use it, but it's not but I'm not using it, like when I get to a dark site, having the improved Wi-Fi, that is awesome. I have actually used the Wi-Fi, and it's been great.
Yeah.
I actually, it has been, especially if you're doing that and you're on a dark site, it's going to be great if you're traveling.
Yeah.
But no, they got a lot of cool stuff coming out.
Everybody's talking about the Eagle because you talked about the ASI Air. So.
Yeah, they always do that. Yeah, like, Mark, Eagle is better, LOL. Yeah, whatever.
And to your point that you said before, Eric, if you are in that ZWO atmosphere, ecosystem that the ZWO has created, or even, because DSLR is compatible with the ASI Air as well. If you go outside of that, if you want to do a moonlight focuser, you can't. If you want to do, a Prima Luce rotator, you can't. If you want, and you got to be a total brand loyalist to do that.
Yeah.
And
you do.
That's why I like the Eagle, and that's what well, I got the Eagle by default because, I had the S Big camera. So I already had the camera, so I was looking for some sort of solution, and that the Eagle was the only solution, unless if I wanted to get the Stellar Mate, and the Stellar Mate. I mean, I did that video on that, and I can't believe I got yelled at by Stellar Mate, but I literally threw it over my shoulder and told people not to buy it. But it was just so. It was really so. It was just not user friendly. It was a response to the ASI Air 1, first generation, and but that's how I got the Eagle, and then I used SGP by default because, even though I used it, Nina wasn't out yet, but even when Nina came out, I couldn't use it because I had the S Big camera, so. S Big drivers doesn't play well. S Big doesn't play with a lot of things. They want to be by themselves. They don't want to do ASCOM drivers. So they kind of missed the boat on a lot of things as far as I'm concerned. But
that's a good question, Tom. I don't know.
Yeah, Tom is asking about the ZWO.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just asking
if
they
have local U.S. service products, or you have to go back to China. I honestly don't know.
I do know.
I bet they do have to go to China.
I do know. They just opened up a ZW repair facility, I want to say, in Illinois.
Really?
They just opened one up in the U.S., so the answer is no. They do not have to go back to China and come all the way back and get stuck. Tom probably sees the boats from his house waiting to come into port. But it's like they are not in China. As of, I believe, last month, they opened up a repair facility in the U.S. So that's awesome. Really good thing. But if you want more information about that, you can call me or at the store or whatever, and I can give you more information about that. But there is a repair facility that we send them to in the U.S., and we get them back a lot faster now. So.
Tom's got a pallet on those boats, he says.
He's like, I can swim to it. I can swim to my...
It's right there. I can see it.
Hopefully it has my Arco on one of those boats because I'm waiting on my Arco, Tom. But I'm dying. I've been waiting for that for like a long time, and I became like a Prima Luce kind of
So you're kind of
wireless.
like me with ZWO. You know, you with Prima Luce, you're more of a loyalist, or becoming more of a
I'm
loyalist
becoming
toward
more.
Prima
I'm becoming
Luce.
more.
You know,
Yeah.
like me. You know, with ZWO, and then even with my, when I had my refractors, and soon my next refractor, I'm a William Optics loyalist in a
Right.
way.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Absolutely.
so because all my refractors that I've had have all been pretty much William Optics, with the exception of the one that Tyler loaned me.
Yep.
You know, and
Tyler wanted another scope.
Yeah, because remember he lent me the 152 a while
I
back.
remember.
Yeah,
You
the
remember?
carbon.
But yeah, but besides that, I've all of my refractors have all been WO, and I'm probably, because I love their quality, I'm probably
Oh yeah.
just gonna stick with them, because if it ain't
Oh
broke.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, by the same
Yeah,
token,
absolutely.
I mean, I got Prima Luce on my 127. I got the Focuser and I got the Eagle and all that. I got 3-inch Asato and all that. But on my other one, I still have I love my Moonlight. I got the version 3 motor
Mhm.
of the Moonlight. And that works completely awesome. So I have no problem with that. I don't have a Nightcrawler. I just, you know,
Right.
can't afford it
But
right
see, the
now.
thing is with with the Eagle, with the Eagle, it's using it's basically you're running a Windows 10
Yeah. Soon to be
box,
11.
operating
Yeah.
system, Windows 10 or Windows 11, whereas, and you're running other the applications within, like SGP or Nina
Right.
or, or PhD and what have
Yeah.
you. Whereas with the ASI Air, it's,
It's all
just
self-contained.
it's their own software. It's all self-contained in their own
Yeah.
software. So
Well,
that's one,
they
so there's the
still do
differences.
PhD. They incorporate PhD. It's not their own
They
software.
did incorporate, they
Yeah.
incorporated PhD into it
Everything
because
else is the same.
because PhD is pretty much open source.
Yeah.
So, they
Oh,
were able to incorporate that in, I believe. Isn't it open source PhD? I think it's
I don't think it
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
Is
it
it?
is.
It is?
Is it?
it
I
is.
thought it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, yeah,
I
Was
it
thought
is
it?
it
open
was.
source.
I
Yeah.
thought it was.
Okay, could be.
Yeah. So they were able to, do that, and then they started adding in their own stuff, like the planetary. That was something that they
Hmm.
added in, which has been right now with this upgrade, this update they're going to be doing with the live stacking or with the stacking. That's going to be big.
Yeah.
To be able to do the stacking right there off of the device, so that you can actually see it in the you can see it right there on your phone or your tablet. And it's doing everything right there, and the stacking, and then it saves it, and then you can just, do whatever additional processing you want to do, within Photoshop or what have you. So that's going to be pretty nice.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, EAA with live stacking EAA for planetary like that. I could see that being a big hit with the younger crowd. The kids in
Yeah.
school and such.
Yeah.
Where they can see a live stream of Jupiter and half a dozen or a dozen of the Galilean moons.
Yeah.
Be great for outreach.
I mean, that's
Star
awesome.
Awesome for outreach.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. And because it's been great, the live stack has been great for EAA for Deep Sky, because as I mentioned in maybe a few shows ago, but using the RASA is a great system for EAA. It's a great platform.
It's so freaking fast.
It's just so darn fast, and you can go out there and you can grab data really quickly, and then do the live stack and get almost instant gratification. It's like, I don't need a Stellina, or anything like that, because with the Rasa, I basically got it, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then be able to do that with the ASI Air, to do that live stacking. I think it's just growing more and more and more, and it's just been such an incredible piece of equipment, and it's been one of those top things for the past 3 years. So,
all right, so I'm calling the 7-minute rule.
okay.
So
7-minute rule.
so 7-minute rule is here. And listen, we love having guests on. I mean, sometimes we end up getting really long-winded, And that'll be 2 hours. This will be the longest running show in a long time. So usually we're in and out in about 2:15, maybe 2:30. I mean,
Yeah.
we could talk all night about this stuff. I mean, we definitely could. We really could.
Yeah.
I mean,
We could just keep going.
as it gets later, next thing we go into the sci-fi tangent, and then our viewers really drop.
Yeah.
And, yeah, because if I start talking about Eric's shirt again, I mean, people are just going to drop off, and that's going to be the end of it. But
am I the only guy with an Astro shirt in? I am.
I still got my work shirt on.
Yeah.
I literally came home
he's
from work.
walking. Yeah, he just got home from work and he's still sporting his McDonald's polo.
Got your McDonald's shirt on. It's you.
It's my McDonald's tech shirt.
Is that your name tag too? Is that like a name tag or something? Or is that just something imprinted?
It's my McDonald's tech shirt. So.
Gotcha.
Mickey
okay, I want to say, is that like a name tag? Like, hi, my name is Dan.
No, man. Would
you like fries with that?
I had to get a shirt that differentiated myself from the people that work there, because I'd be working on a register that's broken or the network that's gone down, and people walk up to me and start placing an order. I'm like, dude, this is broken.
Can I get a number 1 with a large Coke?
Yeah. Talk to Emily over here, and she'll help you. Oh man, it's horrible.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
It's a Big Mac with a large fry and a Diet Coke, right? Because that's gonna make all the difference.
No. It's a double quarter meal large with a Diet Coke, a double quarter, and add bacon. And add bacon.
Gotta have the bacon.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And you look, and when I see those orders, and I look at them, and I just roll my eyes. I'm like, yo, you got like
I think Beatrice likes my shirt.
8,000 calories, and then you get a Diet Coke. You may as well just go for broke.
That's just too.
Yeah,
funny.
Mark was the
by
first.
the way, these shirts. Yeah, my wife designed this. My wife put this together. She.
Oh, great. Oh, nice.
No, nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm done waiting for the shirt that you're supposed to make me.
Oh, geez, here we go.
I'm done with this. So
tell me this is. The last 3 months
Sean,
been going
tell
crazy
me that this is an awesome idea for a shirt, right? So on the top you have a refractor.
Yeah.
And on the side you have like a Schmidt or an RC or something big. And on the top you say, sometimes it's not the length, it's the girth. How awesome is that? Come on.
That's great. That's good. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You turn a lot of heads at star parties with that one.
So actually, Mark was the first one to actually buy some AstroWorld merch on Redbubble. He bought 2 coffee mugs. So thank you,
cool.
Mark,
That's
to get the coffee mugs. Once we get the website up, it'll actually be more, and all that stuff that people buy from Redbubble, and a percentage of it is going to an Astro Club somewhere in the world that we pick quarterly. So.
Oh, really nice. That's great. Yeah,
so,
awesome. Yeah, fantastic. I didn't even know that you were selling merch.
Yeah, well, it's quiet right now until the website's totally built.
Right.
And so it's out there. It's a distributor called Redbubble. And,
yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, so if you look under AstroWorld TV, it's there, and you can kind of.
Cool.
But that's
check
really.
it out.
Yeah, that's really not. It's up and it's working, but it's not something that we're really promoting yet because there's not really any major access to it yet. So.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's understandable. Yeah.
But yeah, so.
Cool.
All right. So I guess let's give Shawn some closing thoughts if you want to add some closing words.
Closing words. I don't have any.
Final. It's like Jerry's final thoughts.
I don't have any final thoughts. I think what I just really appreciate that you guys had me on again. I really enjoy coming on, and like I said,
absolutely.
You guys are doing a fabulous job. A really great thing for the astronomy community by having this show and just talking about everything that's astrophotography. It's great. So thumbs up to you guys for doing this and on such a regular basis too. You know, it's sort of become part of the routine, you know, like, I mean, I look forward to Wednesday nights, you know, knowing that AstroWorld is going to go live, you know, and I'm waiting for it to come on. So yeah, so good stuff.
That's awesome.
I've heard that from a lot of, so especially the repeat viewers, the repeat offenders that come on all the time. They're like, yeah, it's like Wednesday and Friday. I mean, Wednesday, it started off just Wednesday. It started off just Wednesday, and that, you know, it was me and Eric and Jason. Actually, it was. I'm sorry.
And Tyler.
You know, I also forgot about. I can't believe I forgot about Tim. I can't believe I forgot about Tim Cowell.
Yeah, Tim Cowell.
That he runs the Backyard Astro Imaging group on Facebook. They got like 10,000 people on that, and he was my co-host after Charlie left. I can't believe I forgot about it. And he actually got sick, and he's doing better now, and he's looking to come back eventually also. But then once actually Eric joined us with Tim, and then Tim dropped off to take care of his family, and it was just me and Eric for like a couple of months. And
a few months,
somehow we got hooked up with Jason. I don't even know. I don't remember how that happened.
I don't know either, man. But
I don't know how I got hooked up with any of you jokers. I don't know. But you know what? It just grew,
you just
and now
like you needed some help, man.
I need a wingman. I need a wingman. I need a wingman. You know, I need a goose. I need a goose. You were my goose.
There it was. There it was.
Just don't slam your head on a canopy. We'll be fine. We'll be good.
That's right.
But yeah, so now it's grown to about 8 people. And it's turned great. Now we do shows twice a week on Wednesday and Friday.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
My wife's ready to divorce me, but I mean, you know, I love doing it. I love doing it. I love hanging out I love meeting new people. I love meeting other people in the astronomy community. All of us do, and we just love talking about it because we all get such joy out of doing it. So that's my closing thought.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
No. I'll just echo that, man. I just really appreciate you coming on, Shawn, and spending some time with us and hanging out.
Anytime.
And and it was just such a blast, even having Chuck and Ray and all these other ones coming out of the blues. So
that's pretty wild.
That was fantastic. Have them join.
That was awesome. That was awesome. So no, it's a great show, and come on. You know, anytime you want to come on, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, absolutely.
Love it. You gotta make more room on this screen. You gotta
well, you know what I'm gonna do.
Need a 6-up.
This software wasn't cheap, man. This software wasn't cheap.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, to get 3, I think there's the next step up. And the next step up, I think it gives you up to 7. But I got to upgrade, and it's like 400 and change to upgrade from this.
That's nuts.
Ooh, wow.
So,
that's steep. Yeah.
Well, this is a really, you know, it's not like Restream or any of the other ones like that. But you know what? I'm starting to like the simplicity of some stuff like Restream and stuff like that. It's a lot easier than this.
Well, I've got the Melon. I use Melon app, and for the streaming, the live streaming and that, and it's really easy to use, and you can blast out to all your social media accounts and stuff, whatever you want. And it's 9 people, and it's about $50 a month, I think, is what it is, roughly, something like that. No, it's cheap, right? And it works great. So yeah, it might be worthwhile just investigating some other options and see what you can do.
Yeah, I mean, we did, before I got this, I know me and Scott on Friday nights were using Zoom and Restream for a while. And Zoom didn't work out so good. That's put me on to Restream. But I need something that kind of puts all the chat boxes together. And I know Melon does that.
Melon does that. Yeah.
I know Restream does that, but I stopped using Restream because YouTube kept on getting like laggy a little bit with Restream. I don't know if you've seen that with melon or not, but if you haven't, maybe there's something I need to look into.
I haven't seen any issues with melon at all, so it might be worthwhile just to check it out and try it. You know what I mean? It's a month by month subscription. It's not an annual subscription. You can do an annual if you want, but you can do month by month. So pick up the $50 a month one and give it a try and see if you like it. If you do, great. If you don't, you can always just get rid of it then.
Yeah, maybe we could try it Wednesday night. Maybe
try it.
If I have some time to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really simple to set up. It's not hard to do. So yeah, give it a go.
Yeah, cool.
Let me know what you think.
Yeah. Awesome. Eddie makes a good point. He says you can all pitch in to support it. Yeah. I mean, if you guys want to,
everybody fork over $5 a month. Come on.
Exactly. Throw some money towards it. If that'll definitely help.
Yep. Start a Patreon. There you go.
I was going to say set up a Patreon or set up a PayPal donation account, Dan, or something like that, where people can contribute. And if they want,
there is a PayPal at astroworld.com. There is a PayPal account. That's I set it up for Redbubble, so there is one.
Right.
So I could definitely put a link on the webpage once it gets up, and
there you go.
I'd do that. Yeah, for sure. Because I think you'd have a lot of people that would be willing to chip in and help out with stuff. Because that's a lot of times people don't realize the costs that are involved behind the scenes with running something like this. It's not just it doesn't just happen. So I'm sure that there's supporters out there that'll chip in and stuff like that. So definitely give it a go. Yeah,
man.
Fabulous.
I'll give you $5. I'll give you $5.
I'm still trying to find out if you want a shirt or not, because I'm trying to order shirts here. we just got some nice shirts with the logo for like $22.
Beautiful.
Something like that. So
great.
So they come out really nice. So we're gonna get like 12. If you order 12 or more, you get a discount. So
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. We'll get some shirts. But anyway.
I'll send them. All right, man.
I think we're done.
Okay. Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks for having me again, guys. Really appreciate it. It's been fun. And if you get any more spots open, let me know, because I don't mind jumping on and joining us here and there.
Well, maybe Wednesday night we'll have a 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th spot open. So
there you go. Let me know.
If you want to jump on, you have a standing invitation. Absolutely.
Awesome.
So
appreciate that. Good stuff.
It's always a pleasure to have you. So thank you for
that's great.
coming on and hang out with us for almost 3 hours.
Oh my gosh. Just like that.
So
wow.
All right. So guys, everybody.
You know what? I just want to say real quick, thanks to everyone in the chat box too for participating. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's been great.
Yeah, we had a couple hundred comments on there. So thank you for everybody being participative and keeping the questions going. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it is. Good.
All right.
Okay. All right.
So very good.
Well, you guys take care.
You too.
Yeah, all right. You as well.
Everybody have a good night. And my lovely tagline, as always, remember, keep imaging, keep educating, clear skies, and we'll see you Wednesday night on AstroWorld TV. Have a good night.
Bye.
There we go. Shawn, I gotta tell these guys that that sometimes when you're out, you're not out. but you there? Hello, Bueller? Eric, Scott? Eric's out. Oh no, Eric's still there. He's moving. How come I can't hear you, Eric? Are you fucking with me again? I can't hear Scott either. I can hear Scott now. I just can't hear Eric.
Here.
I think Eric's fucking with me because he doesn't even have a level. Oh, you know why? He's under Tyler. Now I can hear you. There you go. That's right. You weren't. You're Tyler's name. I'm looking at Derek. He's on. There's no level.
Oh, good Lord.
That's funny.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, this was a great show, man.
Yeah, man. It's awesome. We've had a bunch of good shows in a row. So I mean, it's been pretty. It's been a pleasure. So I gotta say thank you to you guys for sticking in there and doing this.
Oh no, this was great.
You know what I know, but I know what a pain in the ass it is sometimes with being on here once or twice a week for it's a time investment. So I just want to thank you to you guys also on the side because you guys are a big part of the show, and I couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I love doing this, Daniel. I really do.
Yeah, me too. I do. I mean, I look forward. This is something that I look forward to doing every Wednesday, and if I can do it on Fridays, it's a bonus.
Well, if we go on and do check out the melon thing, and I'll check that out over the weekend, and see if that's good. Maybe we could run a test. Maybe I'll throw a link to you guys on Monday, Tuesday, and maybe we could try it out and just bounce on for 15 minutes and see how it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All
right, guys.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go get another whiskey.
You have fun.
And I'm going to go bring in the telescope because I've had shit stars all night, so I'm not even going to bother even looking at it. So.
Yeah.
But,
and hey, not for nothing, but I really am very interested to see how that harmonic drive is going to perform at different weighted scopes.
Yeah, you were saying.
If you're going to test it out, try to do that, a heavy scope and a light scope, and see how the tracking is on both. Because I want to do that with the rainbow. I know it'll handle the big C14, but I want to see how it's going to handle a small scope.
Yeah.
And I'm anticipating it's not going to be an issue. But
no, shouldn't be. I mean, if anything, I would say that the heavier scope would be an issue, but the way that's made, it shouldn't be an issue either way. So.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So.
All right,
guys. All right.
Have a good night. Take care.
Yep. Later.
Okay. See you later.